McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes,
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good day, beautiful people. It is Friday, October 2nd, 2020, and it's a feel-good, phone-it-in Friday starting right now. Last night's Thursday Night Football was electric and captivating. We'll talk to Damian Woody here in about a moment or two about it all. He's a legendary Jet. What were his thoughts on how the Jets performed against a seventh-string quarterback, Rippin, who sliced and diced and hit the over in the passing yardage, which was the bet that we all locked up. The points went over, which we could have never expected. Sam Darnold went over by 1.5 yards and then never threw the ball again. It was a very interesting Thursday night game. Damian Woody will talk all about it here in about 1.5 minutes. Cannot wait to chat with him. I'm sure there is some passionate reactions to the Jets looking like the worst football team that could have potentially ever stepped foot on a football field at this particular point. Also, Trent Dilford will join us in about 1 hour and 22 minutes to talk about some quarterback play and anything else that's going on in the world. And the 2 o'clock hour Eastern Standard Time, we have Rex Burkhead, the running back that I think leaped about 5-6 yards and got spun and landed on his head while scoring a touchdown last weekend against the Las Vegas Raiders for the New England Patriots. He'll join us to talk a little shop, how the Patriots are doing. When did he know Cam Newton was going to be a great fit in New England? All of that type of stuff, including his incredible career that he's had traveling around and finding a home, ultimately in the dynasty of the New England Patriots. And after that, in 2 o'clock hour Eastern Standard Time, we have TVG Mike joining us to talk about Preak Nasty tomorrow. Yes, you'll be able to bet on some ponies. TVG Mike was on the show last talking about the Kentucky Derby, and turns out TVG Mike was 100% fucking wrong whenever he was talking about that. But whenever you talk Preakness and when you talk horses, there's no authoritarian figure that you would rather talk to than TVG Mike. We will let him know that the Kentucky Derby lost us a lot of money. A lot of money.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
But what TVG Mike will do, if we know anything about TVG Mike, he'll bounce back.
Oh, hell yeah.
He
Right.
will bounce back. He will get us the smart ponies, the fast ponies, and those who will be able to run in Baltimore.
I think so.
I think that's where Preakness is.
Baltimore. Yeah.
Baltimore, big horse guy. In Baltimore, which horse will outrun every other horse in Baltimore? Which horse will be Lamar Jackson? Which horse will be Joe Flacco? Which horse is getting run out of town for a much more athletic horse in Baltimore? And the Preakness we'll find out in the 2 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time hour with TVG Mike. Now, all the boys are here at Tone Diggs, Boston Connor, Ty Schmidt, at Viva Lazito has a poll that is currently up at Viva Lazito, and the poll is?
The poll's about to go out. Who's the better quarterback? Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, or Russell Wilson?
Okay, so here we go. Bills Mafia is going to get heavy onto that one because I'm in trouble with the Bills Mafia, I guess, because I said Aaron Rodgers is better than Josh Allen earlier this week, and everybody lost their mind. I need to watch more Josh Allen. I will. Hey, I look in the mirror and I see a guy that's flawed a little bit, okay? And that's what I'm going to do this weekend. I'm going to watch more Buffalo Bills football so that I can come back on the other side and still very much believe that Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback than Josh Allen. But give Josh Allen a lot more credit. A lot of credit. That's what I will do. Joining us now is a man who I can't wait to hear him talk about what the hell happened last night and also the 3 weeks prior to that. Ladies and gentlemen, Jets legend, Pro Bowler, everything you could potentially think of. Ladies and gentlemen, D. Wood, Damian Wood. They stink, D-Wood. They stink.
They fucking stink. They're awful, man. Sometimes I don't even know why I waste my time, man. But I guess I love tragedy. I love tragedy. So here we are.
Okay, so last night everybody thought this was the game that if Adam Gase and Sam Darnold were going to get a dub in 2020, this was a layup. Okay, Von Miller, best player on their team. Drew Lock, quarterback. out. Cortland Sutton, out. You start going through everybody. Jarrell Casey, out. You start talking about all the good players that are out. They got a quarterback with no name, never heard of the guy before. If the New York Jets are going to win a game, it's Thursday night football in the Mega Bowl in MetLife Stadium against a team that has been battered and beat up more so than almost any other team in the league aside from the Niners, who beat the hell out of the Giants just a little bit long ago. So I don't want to talk about New York too bad. But last night had to be the game the Jets fans that have been, cautiously pessimistic, openly pessimistic, cautiously optimistic about a game. It had to be last night's game, right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, think about it. You got a guy on a short week, undrafted free agent, in his first NFL start. If you're going to win a game, that's got to be the game. That's got to be the game. And all he does is come in and lights up the Jets on defense. Yeah, he had a couple interceptions, later in the game, but you're not supposed to let an undrafted guy who's going into his first start light you up. I mean, we're talking about the two worst offenses in the league in Denver and the Jets. The Denver Broncos were averaging 15 points per game coming in, and all they did was hang up, 37 points against the New York Jets? Just pitiful, man. It's just pathetic. I'm tired of watching pathetic football here in the New York area. Between the Jets and the Giants, I'm disgusted at watching this type of football, man.
Listen, D-Wood, we don't want to laugh at you, okay? We're laughing with you. Just because, as you enjoy tragedy, we like watching people that have to go through tragedy because we know you're going to get out on the other side of this and in a better place. But it doesn't feel like that. As a Jets fan, I would assume. It doesn't feel like, hey, you know what? On the other side of these terrible football games we're playing, it's going to get better. It doesn't seem like there is a light at the end of the tunnel right now for any Jets fan, and Giants fans too as well, but Jets fans definitely.
No, the sad thing is it feels like the rabbit hole is getting deeper. Like in the Matrix. I feel like I'm in the Matrix right now, still sliding, and I haven't come out on the other side of this whole thing. So, every game I go in thinking, okay, it can't be worse than the last game, but it ends up being worse than the last game. So I don't know where the bottom is with the Jets. Apparently they're going to hang on to Adam Gase throughout the whole season. So, listen, if you got whatever kind of bourbon or scotch that you got, man, your best stuff, you might want to send it my way because I'm going to be consuming a lot of it.
Hey, we'll send you over some sympathy, empathy, booze for sure. What do you got, Connor?
Yeah, Woody, if you're a Jets fan and let's say, you're 15, 16, are you considering becoming a Giants fan just because the Jets have, no future, or what are you thinking?
That's interesting.
Why would you be a Giants fan? I mean, if the Jets are the worst, if the Jets are the worst team, the Giants are 1B. Like, they're both awful. So, my son, my wife has converted my youngest son to a Cowboys fan. I don't know why she did that, but then she posed the question, well, what the hell else was I supposed to do? Make him a Jets fan? There's no way I'm going to do that. So why would anybody be a Jets fan right now?
D-Wood, why do you think the Johnson family has come out and said that they think Adam Gase is an offensive guru or genius or something like that? Is that because they're just trying to stick up for their guy while everybody buries him, or do you think they're actually oblivious enough to think that the team is in good hands right now?
Well, first of all, I don't know who was watching tape over there in Florham Park, New Jersey, saying that Adam Gase is an offensive guru. I mean, what the hell has Adam Gase done outside of Peyton Manning? Please, one year with Jay Cutler look halfway decent. I mean, somebody tell me what the hell has Adam Gase done in this league where he's gotten 2 bites at the apple as far as a head coach. They look like a disaster, an embarrassment on national TV. They should be relegated to Saturdays in college football.
Well, people forget. Ryan Tannehill was an all-pro whenever Adam Gase was coaching him.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That is the thing that people forget. Ryan Tannehill played his best football by far when Adam Gase was his head coach down in Miami.
Oh.
That was a belly laugh right there. It is interesting, D-Wood, because he did get another, for instance, Trent Richardson did not have a great NFL career, but was a superstar on Saturdays, right? He was an incredible football player. The NFL didn't pan out for whatever reason, whether it was the game, whether it was off the field, whatever. But the Cleveland Browns draft him with the number 1 overall pick or first overall pick. He gets drafted to the Browns, and they're like, oh, this guy isn't it. So the Indianapolis Colts went ahead and said, the team I was on, you know what? We'll send you another first-round pick for that guy. So the Browns were like, sounds good. Sounds good. Let's get you out. That's kind of what the Dolphins did to the Jets with Gase. It's like, oh, yeah, he's a great head coach. Go ahead and fucking get him. That is kind of – and the Jets were like, yep, sign him up. We'll take it. And to Gase's credit, I guess, last night he did sit up there on the press conference, and instead of acting like a snobby or arrogant person and downplaying it, he did mention that he thought they could be better and that he wasn't happy about this, which is good news because it felt like in the past he was always super defensive. And even though his resume shows that he's not that much of a good difference maker for people or teams.
Hey, Pat, let me ask you a question. You were teammates with Peyton Manning, right?
Yeah.
Out in Indianapolis.
Oh, yeah.
And you know who's responsible for Adam Gase being the head coach here with the Jets? Your guy. Your guy, Peyton Manning.
No.
Yes, Peyton Manning put in the call to Christopher Johnson and sealed the deal.
My guy?
And now I'm miserable along with all Jet fans. So you might be tied into this.
Woody.
You're teammates with Peyton Manning.
No. Don't you tie me into this mess. No. I did find that out, by the way, because he was on, Peyton was on the MegaCast with Kirk Reese and Charles Barkley. And he was just telling stories and all this stuff. And I put out a tweet that was like, hey, when Peyton talks, like, people should listen. His stories are great. His football breakdown is great. And then all I got was an onslaught of Jets fans like, oh, is that fucking right? Is that what we should do? And I didn't even know that story happened until that tweet where everybody was like, we should listen to Peyton, huh? Because now he has put us into a situation where we have a head coach right now that it doesn't look like he's getting fired anytime soon. You got a young quarterback that looks like his career is potentially getting dumped into the trash can. You got a lot of things happening over there. Everybody's like, what the? Frank Gore, poor fucking Frank Gore. That guy has laid his life on the line for football, and now he's at the Jets organization. They're running him on a wheel route in year 16, where if he would have caught the ball, it would have had to be a toe tap. Now, listen, I'm not saying Frank Gore couldn't do that, but I just don't think that's the best usage of Frank Gore. And then in the past, there's some red zone calls where they're running like trips and running two posts to the same spot in the red. There's like a lot of things that are happening where you're like, what? There looks like there's no plan, there's no idea, there's no strategy, and it just looks like an amateur football team, to your point.
Well, that's your guy. That's your guy. The offensive guru, the guy that Peyton Manning recommended to the Jets owner. Well, we got 37-year-old Frank Gore running wheel routes. We featuring him in the passing game. That's how pathetic the Jets offense is right now. And I don't know, man. I don't know. Listen, as bad as they are, unfortunately, I'm going to keep watching. I'm going to keep watching them because misery loves company, I guess.
D-Wood, not only are they bad, but they seem to be dirty. Do you have any inside sources there that you can tell us or know how much Greg Williams is actually offering to kill a player on the other team?
Man, listen, I wish I had the inside scoop like that, but we know he has a track record. Ooh. And we saw what happened last night. How many personal foul penalties did the Jets pick up last night? It was something like 3, 4, somewhere around that line right there. And we know that every defense that Greg Williams coaches, they do these type of shenanigans a lot. So, and we saw that Steve Smith on the post-game show last night,
perfect, actually,
that he doesn't give a damn about Greg Williams, doesn't like him at all. So, yeah, there's a problem there.
It's interesting because you could very easily see how a defensive coordinator, especially one who has the track record of Greg Williams, saying, hey, rookie quarterback, it's his second year, but first start for a quarterback, we want to get in his way. We want to make him feel uncomfortable. And then whenever you see the tackles, which, by the way, very common sack maybe 5-10 years ago, where you face-to-face with the quarterback, wrap them up, and you try to bury them through the ground. Like, that is old school football. 5-10 years ago, maybe okay. Now it's like there's rules against even landing 100% on a quarterback because the athletes in the NFL, everybody assumes, is athletic enough to catch themselves as opposed to trying to hurt. It seemed like there was a certain direction that the defense continued to go when it came to potentially altering the quarterback, and we saw it at the very end of the game. I mean, the very end of the game was the same exact style of tackle, face-to-face tackle, land on him. It's just, it does feel like Greg Williams potentially sent a message, or maybe he's just a victim of his reputation. Maybe this is just the players making this decision without him, but it sure does look like that guy is potentially saying, hey, you take off the head, the body will die, which is his exact quote about Frank Gore back in the day whenever he got caught being recorded or whatever.
Yeah, listen, man. If the Jets don't do anything well, They know how to collect penalties. They did that a lot last night, and that's what bad teams do. Bad teams collect a lot of penalties. So, hey, congratulations, guys. You guys collected a whole bunch of personal foul penalties. That's great. Really great, guys. Way to help your cause.
I'll tell you what, if you're going to be good, you might as well be great.
Might as well be the best.
Right? Give us all the 15-yarders. What do you got?
D-Wood, Pat alluded to it earlier with Sam Darnold and how this might just be like the end of his career. But do you think, like, if they do fire Adam Gase, I mean, is he going to get another shot somewhere else, or has Adam Gase actually kind of just killed his spirit? Because I feel like a lot of Jets fans are still in on the Sam Darnold train.
I'm still a fan of Sam Darnold. I just feel I see the talent and the traits, and I just think the organization has betrayed him, man. The organization has betrayed him. The offensive line stinks. He's throwing the guys I've never even heard of before, out there on the football field. And how are you helping the young guy? And I look at like what other organizations are doing with their young quarterbacks. All right, Josh Allen in Buffalo. Look how they've surrounded him with just top talent in order for him to succeed. Baker Mayfield, look what the talent that they've given him, although we still don't know what Baker Mayfield is going to be. And then you look at Sam Darnold, he's throwing the guys that look like they should be in the XFL or something like that, man.
Whoa.
So it's just, hey, I'm not trying to disrespect The Rock.
Yeah.
Like that. Shout out to The Rock.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's the NFL. The man needs some help out there.
Dwayne Johnson said nobody will outwork us. I disagree. I don't think Jerry Jones is acting in any fucking movies. That's about one thing. No, I respect Dwayne Johnson in the XFL, but I think the mission statement is one that is immediately debunked whenever you think about how hard the NFL works to stay on top, which they do, by the way, and they are not. Yeah, but I'm pumped for the XFL. Even if you think Josh Allen, okay, you said that. Baker Mayfield, you said that. Look what they did for Kyler Murray out there, bringing Nuke as much as they possibly can. Look what Lamar Jackson, they've done with Lamar Jackson. They've completely converted the entire offense around him. Look at Patrick Mahomes. I mean, if you look around at all of the young quarterbacks, actually, if you start just kind of looking around, every single one of them. Now, I guess you would have to look at Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes would be the only one. It's in New York where you're like, okay, maybe they haven't surrounded Danny Dimes with a potential to succeed as well. So maybe in New York over there, they just judge how the other team's doing and be like, well, yeah, they're not doing shit for their guy either. We don't have to do it because fans don't matter. What do you got, Z?
YouTube question if you want.
Yeah, please.
From Andy Reek. Hey, yo, D Wood. If the Jets fired Gase, who would you want them to hire?
Great question. Is there anybody on the staff that is supposed to go up next? Do we know that answer?
How about Jim Bob Cooter?
Yeah.
How about
yes? The answer is yes.
I'm all for that. With that name, I need that. I want to hear Jim Bob Cooter every Sunday.
You want to hear? You know where Jim Bob Cooter's from?
No, where is he from?
Tennessee. You know who got Jim Bob Cooter his first job?
No, don't tell me the great McAfee.
No. Peyton Manning. Yeah.
No, well, that canceled it. That canceled it. Listen, I love the name Jim Bob Cooter. I love the name, but you killed it for me just now. You killed it for me.
Who is a coach you think? And because you never know, so like when McVay got hired, I think everybody was very surprised. I mean, then when LaFleur got hired, everybody was very surprised. Kingsbury gets hired, everybody was surprised. It was like, this guy's just the USC offensive coordinator for a week and a half, and now he's the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. Who is somebody you think that could potentially step in there and take over the team? What type of coach do you think it would take to kind of turn around that Jets organization, Jets franchise?
Well, man, it's going to be a heavy haul because they need a lot of talent. So first and foremost, got to get more guys on that roster because there's too many holes. I'm gonna give you a name that I like. How about Brian Daboll, the offensive coordinator in Buffalo? I was with Brian Daboll in New England when I played with New England. Look what he's done with Josh Allen. I mean, he has Josh Allen right now playing like an MVP in this league. So he's going to be a name that's going to be hot. He's going to be hot after the season.
Okay, so
Wait a minute, you about to shit on my name just now? you got that look in you.
No, this whole week though, I'm entrenched with Bills Mafia because you're not the only one to say Josh Allen's playing MVP football right now. Dan Orlovsky has said it, other people have said it, and I've just easily no offense to Josh.
Are you hating on Josh?
No.
Hey, don't. Hey,
No.
Hey, I met Bill Mafia once before. I would never do it again.
I didn't. I'm not hating on Josh Allen. I am just simply asking a question. Okay, who's playing better football right now? Josh Allen, who's playing amazing. Okay, absolutely amazing. Before this season, didn't have a 300-yard passing game. Now he's had 3 of them in a row. Here we go. Correct. Way to go, Josh Allen. I love it. He's jumped from first year to second year was big. He's jumped from second year to third year, big. Bills Mafia is potentially in the driver's seat of a division that they haven't been in the driver's seat for like 20 years. I love Josh Allen. But you're saying he's a better football player than Aaron Rodgers right now?
Come on now.
Oh.
What happened?
Where'd you go? Are you disrespecting Bills Mafia? Look what Damian Woody just did. Look at Damian Woody just said about Josh Allen. Wow.
Well.
See, Pat, I know that A-Rod is on your show every week.
Yeah.
So I know you got to give him his props. But I'm going with the young buck.
No!
The young buck.
No.
Going with the young buck right now.
All right, we have some breaking news. I'm being told from the back. I would like you to stay on here for this breaking news because I do believe you'll be a part of it. Steelers-Titans originally scheduled for Sunday is now October 25th at 1 p.m. on CBS. Steelers-Ravens will move from Week 7 to Week 8 on Sunday, November 1st at 1 p.m. on CBS. Steelers-Titans now have a bye, and the Ravens' bye originally set for Week 8 will now be in Week 7. So this was the initial recommendation by the internet as soon as it was thought that there was potentially a postponement. Now the NFL has obviously seen the same thing everybody else has. Sucks for the Steelers, who are originally supposed to have a bye week at Week 8, which is the perfect place for a bye week. Yep. Now they have a bye week without even really knowing it. I guess there are some questions potentially about the Titans game next week because more positives continue to roll out from there. Yep. D-Wood, if you're on this team and Coach Tomlin came out and said, we do not care. Like, that's the way Mike Tomlin is. He is a no bullshit. We just want to play football. Let's keep it moving. The distractions can stay out of our locker room. We don't care. If you're on that team, though, especially at a position like offensive line, which I know bye weeks are a rather important week, not only for the body, but also mentally, is that anything you're thinking about? Or is it, hey, it's 2020. We got to do what we got to do?
I mean, listen, I know this year is just a totally different year, but damn, man, like having a bye week early sucks. I had that one year. And I feel like total shit at the end of the year. So they're gonna say the correct thing and say, well, we don't have any control over it. We're gonna go play. But I'm telling you right now, guys know, talking in the locker room, yeah, it sucks to have a bye week this early in the season.
See, anytime I talk about it, I always go like, not for me, but for the positions that have to like battle. Right. And there comes a time at the end of the season there. That's why the extra game was such a big talking point, because there's guys at the end of the season that I don't want to say are crawling to the finish line, but basically crawling to the finish line, whether it's taking painkillers or whatever they got to do to get back ready by Thursday, maybe even Friday. Guys aren't even feeling anywhere near game ready. That's why the Thursday night games are such a conversation. But at those positions where it's hand-to-hand combat and there's a lot of battling and things like that, offensive line, that's a real thing I think that doesn't get talked about much, because it's like, hey, you get paid a lot of money, go ahead and show up. But the guys at the end of the season are in bad spots, and those bye weeks are a massive refresher for everybody.
Well, listen, a couple things. Number one, for everyone out there, I mean, think about offensive linemen. You're involved in like 70, 75 train wrecks per game. I mean, that takes its toll on your body. And Pat, you know this, man. When you get the schedule, probably the first thing you look for is when it's the bye.
Oh, yeah.
And so if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, play on that team, you thinking, man, our bye week fell in the perfect spot right in the middle. And now we getting a bye week right at the beginning of October. So, I mean, that just changes your mindset.
And they didn't even know it was a bye week. until today.
Right.
Or yesterday,
Right.
they just found out it was a bye week. It's like, okay, now figure it out. Go out, play 13 more weeks, and then if you want to make a run, another 4 weeks after that, 17 more weeks straight, and do good football. It's like that's a lot of health you're going to have to think about going down the line there. So it has been officially made, though, by the NFL. Good news. Hopefully, if any other teams fall victim to this type of thing, their schedule is set up in a fashion to be done this easily and efficiently. Not 100% sure if that's ever going to be possible, but here we are. Sucks for the Steelers. Hope the Titans get healthy. We'll see them battle after the Steelers play before the Steelers play the Ravens, which that's going to be tough. Derrick Henry, then Lamar Jackson, back-to-back for the Steelers in the week that they thought they had a bye week. That's a slap in the face, but hey, no other town could do it, Diggs.
No other town could do it.
Steel City could do that.
We were born and raised on this type of
Ladies
shit.
and gentlemen, absolute incredible conversation. D Wood, we need to have you back. You're electric every time you're on here. Ladies and gentlemen, Damian Woody. Thank you, D Wood. You're the man. He's the best, dude.
Yeah.
So he and I are rarely on television together at ESPN. Very rarely. But we see each other in like the green room. And every time we sit down in the green room, it's like it's like we just start talking, and it's very easy. Very, very easy. And every time we dap each other up in good different ways, he always goes like, hey, we got to chop it up sometime or whatever on TV if they ever let us. I'm like, yeah. And anytime you get a chance to have Damian Woody on your show, you have Damian Woody on your show. He's a diehard Jets fan still because they paid him a lot of money. I think he's from there. But, boy, that's a tough place to be a fan of.
Yeah,
and this is a feel-good phone-in Friday, so I'm sorry we spent 26 minutes here burying the Jets, but we had to do it.
Got to do it.
Not often do you get a chance to see a team that is potentially going to make history. This would be the third team in the 101 years of the NFL's existence to go 0-16. Obviously, the first team to ever crack the barrier and accomplish this feat, the Detroit Lions. That boy Foxy.
Good job, Fox.
And I don't think in the middle of it, the rest of the NFL fan base, because there wasn't as many social media, and I don't know as many people know, you didn't get really a chance to enjoy this type of history, monumental type thing. And then the Browns did it. Ladies, congratulations to the Cleveland Browns.
Good job, Cleveland.
The Cleveland Browns did it, and it was like in the middle. I don't think anybody outside of Cleveland like enjoyed it. Like, hey, this is not easy to do. Like, it is very hard to lose every single game. Have a parade, and then now we're in the middle of getting a chance to like, hey, it's possible again. Like, we have a team here that could very easily lose to every person that they train and practice to beat this year. And it's something that we should, keep an eye out for and get ahead of it. This is the type of stuff you got to do whenever you're a daily live show is predict the future. And I think we should think about enjoying this ride of completely defeatedness for the New York Jets.
For some reason, it feels different. Like the Lions and the Browns was fun and enjoyable when they went 0-16. For some reason, the Jets just seem sad.
You think so?
Nah, see, I kind of like it.
Oh, yeah, I'm having a good time.
Well, you are specifically because you're a terrible person.
No. I have a lot of respect for the Jets. I mean, they've had to put up with a lot of shit over the years. Same with the Finns. Same with the Bills. I love Buffalo.
I'm loving this. It's great.
So
it's awesome.
Because the Dolphins are no longer the
Laughing stock.
of the
Gase
AFC.
deserves everything he gets.
Adam Gase is so interesting. How does he continue to get these gigs? Like this is now, if he has a bunch of success, I guess you have to say like, well, that's Dolphins just weren't a good fit for him. Here you go. There's always that potential, and people should deserve second chances or whatever. But he didn't even have to drop down at all to re-earn any respect.
No.
It was a parallel move, head coach to head coach failure to head coach again. That's not normal. Normally, you have to go back down, prove that you're willing to work for it again, have a good season. Like, for instance, Jim Caldwell got fired from the Indianapolis Colts, which I don't think everybody in the building was exactly thrilled about. I think he got dealt a pretty bad set of cards. But then he goes over to the Baltimore Ravens, becomes offense coordinator. They win a Super Bowl. Yeah. Then he becomes head coach at the Lions. He could have been a head coach, by the way, immediately after the Colts thing. Like, if any coach should have got it, it should have been right after that. Because, I mean, Peyton Manning had a broken fucking neck. You know what I mean? So that happened. He goes to the Lions. He finally wins for the Lions, and they fire him because he didn't win enough. Like, hey, you didn't win enough.
They went 9-7.
Get out of here.
Get out.
But Jim Caldwell, in his first year as head coach, went to the Super Bowl and then the AFC Championship, then the AFC divisional round or whatever, and then boom, he's gone because Peyton Manning has a broken neck. He had to go back down to Baltimore, do offense coordinator, which I don't think that was something he had done in a long, long time. Has success, and then bang, he's back up. Normally, you got to do that. Like, for instance, Chuck Pagano here. Chuck Pagano, head coach of the Colts. Once again, a car wreck happens. He goes down. Now he's with the Bears for defense coordinator. I would assume if the Bears defense does something awesome this year, he's going to go. Like, that's just kind of how it normally goes. Adam Gase is like, nah. I'm going boom. Parallel move. I sucked here. I won't suck there. Don't have to go anywhere else. And I guess we're learning it's all because Peyton Manning gave a call to Johnson & Johnson and said, hey, got the cure for your ails, bub. It's a guy named Adam Gase.
Well, it's interesting, too, because they were in the same division. So it's like you think that the Jets would have known. Like, they saw Miami. It's like, hey, these guys fucking stink.
terrible.
So does this coach. Why would you go out and hire him?
I have no idea.
That's where he made the good decision. I mean, he has bamboozled a couple of franchises that don't know what they're doing.
Oh, easy, Tony.
Dolphins
mean,
have been perennial.
You are.
We're on the up and up right now.
Yeah, but you're an actual example in the exact person we're talking about.
This experiment.
So it can't be easy, Dumpy, as a Dolphins fan. Like, you have to be thrown into this conversation.
We gave him his first chance, though. We didn't know. The
Fins
Jets
up,
knew.
This is the whole.
The Jets knew.
The Jets knew.
Pat,
Okay.
what about Jim Caldwell as the next Jets head coach?
Why not?
I think he'd be great. He turned the Lions around, got us to the playoffs.
It feels like the right guy. And everybody always gets mad at him. He has no emotion on the sideline. It's like,
Don't matter.
So you want to. Listen, I'm okay with guys having emotion too. I love that. But I don't like when you immediately just say, oh, this guy has no emotion, doesn't care because he's not acting ridiculous on the sideline.
Lovey was the man, had no emotion.
But Jim Caldwell was. I love Jim
Bill
Caldwell.
Belichick.
I love Jim Caldwell. Bill Belichick has scored a touchdown. Has no idea.
No.
It's like, yeah, first down, run play for 2 yards, touchdown. This is all just a part of getting where we're headed to. I don't know why we're getting too crazy. Jim Caldwell has got a bad rap for that. And I was a big Jim Caldwell fan.
I'm biased, but there's one guy I know. If you need a culture change, Bill Carr comes in. There's gonna be a culture change. Okay.
Wow. Bill Carr will come in there and spit on everything you got. 31 minutes into this Feel Good Phone It In Friday. On the other side, we're going to attempt to start our record-breaking Friday.
Yeah.
I think our record is 27 calls. We'll count Damian Woody as one of them.
Yes.
We'll count Rex Burkhead. We'll count Trent Dilford. We'll count TVG Micah's calls. So that's 4 automatically.
Here we go.
We need to get another 24 calls in, and we're hoping it's from you. 1-888-MAD-DOG-6. Go ahead and call in. Let's have a Feel Good Phone It In Friday. Can't wait to hear your takes on the weekend. Maybe your locks, your opinions, your thoughts, everything and more. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Friday, October 2nd.
What are you going with?
Taking the Broncos and the points.
How many points did you get? 1.5.
Yep. Broncos 2-1 against the spread this year. Surprisingly, 10-3 against the spread their last 13 Thursday games, and 5-2 against the spread their last 7 against the Jets. Give me the Broncos. Give me the points.
Gumpy loves his trends. Pat?
I don't know, and I don't want to pull the old.
You don't have to.
I don't want to make a pick because I'm at the top of the mountain. But let me tell you why I'm at the top of the mountain. Because I make fucking picks. I'm going with the Broncos. Turn on this mic. Is this microphone on? Can you hear me? You?
I'm in a bad place right now.
You fucking made this show. What is this? A joke? Why don't you get a potato out? Why don't you get a potato out and film yourself with a potato?
I got it. We good?
We good?
All right. Man, I'm not talking to you right now. Hold on a second.
The NHL All-Star Game and Skills Competition were just over the weekend. Did you get a chance to watch any of it?
120-157-201. Start that over. I'm going to go. They make these moves. My cat's jumping all over the place. Let's pause that and exit this out.
What is that?
Oh, no, the cat stays.
Cat staying in?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. What was I saying? Okay, so, like the move with Kessel.
What's that cat's
they make
name?
The move with Kessel.
Fluffy.
What's that cat's name? I don't know you got a cat.
You was hiding
My best
cats
friend.
from us.
I like her better than everybody in this house.
No shit.
Convenient that Zito's not here. On the last episode, Zito told a story about how some beautiful young couple was trying to fuck him over and intimidate him and
pointing and laughing,
ridiculing him,
making fun of him,
calling him a big fat stooge.
Yeah.
Like throwing food at his car and stuff like that, just to get him not to buy a house.
Yep.
Turns out they're familiar with the show, potentially even fans. They recognize Zito, and we're just waving at him to say hi and show appreciation for the show and to Zito. And Zito took that in a manner that was just incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure you said this was the case as well, too.
I assumed this is what happened almost immediately. These people did actually just notice Zito, Hey, love that guy.
He's hilarious.
We should wave. We should wave to him.
Yeah.
And Zito took that as,
oh, fuck me, fuck you.
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio, channel.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show here on Mad Dog Sports Radio, channel 82. Here's a feel-good phone it in Friday. We're going to get to these phones. We need 24 phone calls.
Here we go.
Okay? That's what we need from the fans.
Good
we
one.
need them to be good.
Yep.
Okay? We want to break our record of 27 phone calls. And I assume that's not that many. I don't know. I don't know what other shows are doing.
I think that's a lot.
But I'll tell you what. Bring the heat. Bring the energy. Can't wait to talk to you. 37 minutes into the hour here. Friday, October 2nd. Let's go ahead and get started with George in Texas. What's going on, George? Bad start.
Come on.
not the start that we were
This is
looking
not
for.
curious,
This show
George.
stinks, dude. This show stinks.
I mean, this is what happens when you try and answer
You gotta
the phone.
flip the phone the other way.
George.
What part of Texas do you think he's from?
He's on
Amarillo.
Oh, there he is. How's
Yeah.
it going? Hey, did you ever see? Are you from where like The Big Green was filmed way back in the day out there?
Oh, that's a good movie.
Yeah, I'm from Canadian Texas.
Oh, nice.
interesting.
Hey, pal. Hey,
Not bad, pal.
Probably a big brain there, if I had to guess. If it's a lot of other Canadians. What's going on, George? What do you want to talk about?
So with Roethlisberger's Ben Roethlisberger's contract coming up, how in 2 years do you think the Steelers are going to re-sign him? And if they do, are they going to allow him to jerk off?
Great question, George. I don't know if the Steelers. I don't know if the Steelers are getting involved in that entire process of his life. I will say this: it all depends on how the Steelers do here. In the next couple of years, obviously. Because if the Steelers win another one, which, by the way, they could with the defense that they have. Now, I don't know how you get through the Chiefs in the AFC, and I don't know what they're going to have to deal with in the Super Bowl if they were to get there. But in the next 2 years, if the Steelers can win another one, I think Ben will just ride off into the sunset to do whatever he damn well pleases.
Yes.
Whatever you guys think he's going to go do, I'd assume he's going to do that and more. But if they don't win one, and in 2 years he still thinks he can throw the ball, and they still have that team together, maybe they give him another year. But it sure felt like by watching that documentary they put together that Roethlisberger has said on numerous occasions, I don't have to prove anything more for myself. I don't have to prove. I'm doing this because the offensive line loves me, and I love them. The wide receiver core is young and they're talented. I like them. The defense is very good. That's why Roethlisberger said he's doing it. So I think it all depends on what happens these next 2 years. 2 years is an eternity in the NFL. Who knows what will happen? But if the Steelers get a dub, I think you'll see Roethlisberger sail off into the sunset.
Yeah, I think I believe he said like this is his contract, like this year and the next year, and then I'm pretty sure he's going to be done after that. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets do get the number one pick and they take Trevor Lawrence and Sam Darnold's on the table, that maybe Steelers go after him.
I saw you petitioning for that last night.
All the chips into the basket.
Yeah,
Juju,
I saw
Nice
you.
4th or 5th round pick for Sam Darnold.
Well, and Juju said he wouldn't mind having him on the squad and everything like that. And I don't know if they're going to move Darnold or Gase first. Will the GM stick with Darnold? Or will the GM say, there's no loyalties between us, I didn't draft you, and I don't necessarily love what you've done here. So go ahead and get on out of here, because there is 2 quarterbacks that could potentially be good. And we'll try to give them a much better chance than you were given here, because you kind of came to the Jets organization and we spent all the salary cap, and then we blew it up and fired the people that spent all the salary cap and the draft picks immediately after they spent all the money and used the draft picks. Then we brought a head coach in who stunk somewhere else in our division that we knew. And then we kind of got rid of everybody around you. We traded away the best defender that we had. So, I mean, Yeah, I mean, it definitely sucks for you, dude, but go ahead and take a fucking hike.
That's business, baby.
Is that what the GM's going to say? Is that what the GM's going to say?
Can you pass on a talent like Trevor Lawrence and take that risk?
Well, that was what was said about Sam Darnold, though.
Not Trevor Lawrence, though.
Well, Trevor Lawrence, I guess the hype is like the Andrew Luck hype it was for the first time in a long time. But if you talk to the quarterback people, they're like Justin Fields also. This dude is next level. But you have no idea who's going to potentially pop up in this shortened college football season. Joe Burrow was a 5th-round pick until he became number 1 overall. So what I'm saying is you need more time. Because who knows what that magic 8 ball is saying right now. I mean, Sam Darnold's been completely fucked up. And it sure feels like Danny Dimes is potentially falling down that same tree, hitting every limb. But Joe Judge is building a new culture. I have a lot more faith in Joe Judge building a new culture, who's never been a head coach before, than Adam Gase, who we've seen his work before. Now, has he learned his lessons from Miami? Sure doesn't feel like it. But will they be able to turn it around? Sure doesn't feel like it. But who knows what that GM's going to end up doing. What's up, Connor?
I mean, the Jets drafted a left tackle in the first round this year. They're doing everything they can to protect him.
Yeah, and then they try to throw him in there and just blow out his shoulder completely.
That's right.
Pretty important piece of the puzzle whenever you're a tackle is the shoulder.
Hell of an organization.
I'll tell you what, we're going to sit you because you're not healthy enough to start. But in 3 plays, when our guy goes down, just fucking get your ass up. What a wild move, dude. That Frank Gore shot of him sitting on the bench, I was so bummed. Because all Frank Gore has done every single day is just show up and work his ass off. Hopefully, he'll probably play another couple years. I assume he would like to play when his son's in the league, too.
Yeah.
I would assume. I'm not 100% sure, but I hope. It doesn't seem like he's slowing down. Ran a wheel route, was running at a pretty good clip, which he's not known for being the guy, like a speedster. He's known for being the toughest dude on earth. Good for them. They're fucking it all up. But Roethlisberger, who knows what's going to happen. Let's go to Jordan in Indiana. What's going on, Jordan?
Back to back.
boys?
Oh.
Jordan, how's it going, pal?
What's going on, Patty?
Hey.
I love the Feel Good Friday, man. I mean, every day should be feel good. Was you listening to you guys? You guys freaking bring the heat every day.
That's what I'm talking about, Jordan. That's what we're talking about, Jordan. That's what we're talking about. Hey, 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 ho, hey, ho. Right, bingo.
With all this head coach talk and stuff, if you were the owner of the Jets, you had to strictly do a whole redo and pick all new coaching staff and everything, and you were the owner of the Jets. You had to strictly pick just players that you've played with or been around. Who would you choose?
Okay, so let's go through all 24 coaches that there is.
Here we go.
All right.
Quality control first.
Quality control. Let's go with we'll go with Mitt, equipment manager.
Okay, smart.
We had one particular.
Good job, Mitt.
He's printing out the scout team things and getting the coffee. Head coach. Let's go ahead and just obviously put Peyton Manning in there because that seems like the right move. Offensive coordinator. Let's go ahead and put I guess Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna put Andrew Luck in there. We'll have to tell him to dumb down the language a little bit so people can understand what he's saying. Defense coordinator. We're gonna go ahead and put Freeney and Mathis. They're gonna be co-defense coordinators. They're going to do that. Secondary is going to be run by Antoine Bethea and Darius Butler. Obviously, offensive line coach. Congrats to Ryan Lilja and Charlie Johnson. Those guys are going to get the gig. Can't wait to see what they do. And by the way, AQ Shipley also. We're going to get him in. So there's going to be 3 offensive line coaches. It's going to be tough to do. For the special teams, Adam Vinatieri is obviously getting the gig. He is also, by the way, the clock management guy. Now, it's going to get ugly between Adam and Peyton deciding who's doing what there, and that's been a fight in the past, by the way. Sending the kicker and punter off of the field with Peyton, so they're kind of used to it, I would assume. But Vinatieri might be – no, I think Peyton probably understands situational football, but don't focus on that. Let Vinatieri focus on that because it involves special teams every single decision you make. And then all the other Gary Brackett's obviously the linebackers because he was coaching the linebackers whenever he was there. And it was Dallas Clark's got the tight end.
Can we get Bob Sanders in there?
Yeah, Bob Sanders. You know what it'd be? He'll be strength coach.
Strength.
There it is. Yeah. Bob Sanders is a strength coach. That'll be awesome. We're gonna have some animals. We are gonna have some animals.
Who are your scouts though?
I mean, we should put together a fucking hell of a team. That's a different side of the building. I'm just in charge of the coaching.
Yeah.
I'm not coaching, by the way. I put together a staff and I leave.
You're GM probably.
No,
dude,
I'm fucking out of there, dude. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of time. I would like to get paid as if I'm the GM, the president, and the head coach, obviously. And I don't do that for me, but I don't have the time.
No.
Yep.
AQB, your GM.
But good luck. No. Let's go to Trevor in Kentucky. What's going on, Trevor?
Hey, what's going on, boys? I got 3 quick hitters for you.
Oh, come on.
One.
Go ahead.
I got 1, what are you drinking in your Starbucks cup? 2, will you please get rid of the plant behind you? And 3, does Le'Veon Bell regret going to the Jets?
Okay, your third one, yes, I'd assume Le'Veon Bell does regret that. The plant stays. Okay, just want to let you know the plant stays. There's another one over here, too. It doesn't make an appearance enough, but we got some plants in here. And there's one in that corner as well.
And they're staying.
You know, I like to keep it a little lively.
Fresh air in
Come on,
here.
fresh air around here. And this is green tea, I guess. This is Zito, it's a green tea, right?
Yeah, green tea, no syrup.
No syrup, 3 Splendas or 4. This one has 2 Splendas in it. I'm not a coffee guy, okay? I've always been a tea guy, but I've kind of leaned in on the green tea is the most healthy, viable caffeine option because I'm not a big caffeine guy. Everybody knows I had a hard run-in with the Bang energy drink. I had a hard run with the Bang. You know, me and that meth energy drink.
Damn near killed you.
We had a run last fall, and I had to stop cold turkey.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest, it was not easy. And we're not 100% sure if I had COVID those 2 weeks or if it was just withdrawals from the Bang energy drink.
Probably.
Because it was around that time where they said that COVID was landing in New York City in the hotel we were staying in. So I don't know if it was COVID or me cutting off from Bang. So I cut off from the Bang. I'm not a coffee guy. I wish I was a coffee guy because people that are coffee people are just like so much cooler than everybody else. They talk about beans and big face coffee might be the thing that gets me in there. And my wife cannot do anything before her cup of coffee. She like loves it and she does all this shit. I just hate every single part of coffee. I think it tastes like shit. I think it is doo-doo. I don't like the crash that I get from coffee. So what I've learned is this is my go-to. And I don't necessarily love the taste, okay? It's not like I'm like, hey, this is awesome. But I feel like the way I feel is better than any of the other shit that I've tried.
Tea's good for your stomach as well.
It's clean energy like wind and water.
Earth.
Fire.
Put them together. Captain Planet, dude. Whoa. That's like this studio.
We're Captain Office Planet.
You love the planet. Remember when Elon donated to the planet and or Bezos donated to the planet?
Oh yeah,
and Diggs just shit all over
Up
him.
in arms.
Well, he only donated
he kicked
15
him
billion.
more?
I mean, me and everyone else in this office has saved 350 water bottles through our water machine.
Yeah,
So.
where you at, Bezos?
That's all a gimmick. Let's go to Nick in Minnesota. What's going on, Nick?
Hey, Pat. How are boys doing today?
Hey, not too shabby. Feel good phoning in Friday. I believe we're 4 calls in at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what I'm calling here today, boys, as we know, our boy Christian Pulisic is tearing it up at Chelsea, but I'm looking forward to the 2022-2026 World Cup. We have the likes of Weston McKennie at Juventus, Gio Reyna, 17 years old at Borussia Dortmund. We got Dest that just signed at Barcelona. How are we looking? How are we going to be doing in the World Cups coming up? You think the boys can bring it home?
Big sports show. Obviously, we're winning the World Cup.
Especially the one that's here.
Yeah, Christian Pulisic is the greatest soccer player on the planet right now. I'm not even sure there is a close number to be honest with you. So, the United States going to win the World Cup. We go from not qualifying for the World Cup, embarrassment to the world for the beautiful game, to probably the favorites in back-to-back World Cups.
Pretty cool.
That's got to feel pretty cool for us, and it does, by the way.
It does.
And there's not a lot of times you wake up in America where you go, you know what, our soccer team is going to be dominant. But now we're in a world where you look in the mirror, you're looking at a person that's a citizen of a country that has a dominant soccer team. And it's fucking great to be here. It's still like probably 6th or 7th favorite sport in America. And we still don't have our greatest athletes playing. But I'll tell you what, our soccer players that are playing right now, best in the world. Can't wait to win a World Cup. Everybody can eat shit.
Yeah, because before it was just Dempsey and Howard who were accepted over the seas, but now everyone's over.
Well, and the big thing is, I think they've grown up over there. Which, hey, if we got to infiltrate,
Fine. Send them over.
That's what we got to do. We got to do it. But it's going to be tough for the rest of the world when it's their sport.
Yeah.
And we're winning.
How's that feel?
We don't even call it football.
Spain.
That's tough. Yeah, I mean, I am a little bit upset that we just kind of, the name. But that's kind of what America did back in the day.
2 O's.
Where are you from? Deutschland. Nope. Germany. That's what America did back in the day. And I don't love that about us. I won't let you know that. But the sport of soccer, we're about to fucking run the world. Who runs the world? Us.
Who runs that mother?
Us. Let's go to Kyle in Illinois. That's pretty cool feeling. We've never been able to do that about soccer before.
Yeah.
Even back when Tony Miola was doing his thing.
We were close then.
Yeah, we were very close. And Con's hot dogs were delicious.
Man.
Kyle in Illinois, what do you want to talk about, pal?
Hey, Pat, quick question. How did Mitt spell champagne?
I couldn't even. On the thing here, it just Illinois. It didn't say Champagne, which is smart, by the way.
Yeah.
Which is a good move by old Mitt back there.
I was thinking he was going to spell it like the drink.
like the booze bag he is.
Well, I would understand that, but there's no way he knows how to spell that.
No,
he does know how to pop a bottle, though.
yeah.
He does know how to pop a bottle. What do you want to talk
Hey,
about?
but Pat, it's Feel Good Friday, and you know what I'm feeling good about today?
What's that?
About the Bears are going to beat the piss out of the Colts.
All right. Don't want to hear
Oh, Bear time.
No, does that make you feel good? That makes
Kyle's
you feel
usually negative, too.
You know, I just learned that it's Chuck Pagano's birthday today.
Happy birthday, Chuck.
Happy birthday to Chuck Pagano. I sent him a text. He's obviously got his blinders on. He's fucking on Bears football, defensive stands and red zone stops. And let's make them kick field goals and not score touchdowns. I know that's what Chuck Pagano is doing right now.
Oh, yeah.
But him coming back to Indy, okay? Him playing against Indy, I mean.
Yeah.
As defense coordinator with a lot of weapons on the defense. Playing against Frank Reich, who is the guy that put Nick Foles back on the map, basically. I mean, this feels like if you're into the storylines,
good storyline game,
that the Colts are in a little bit of trouble. Chuck playing against the old team, Nick Foles playing against the old sensei. There's a lot of that going on. But in my eyes, this Colts team, aside from the absolute fucking failure against the Jacksonville Jaguars week 1, which did a lot to my damage, my reputation and my gambling thing, because I had them as a lock because I thought Phil Rivers was going to come out and gunsling, and he did, just to the other team. Joe Dirty threw 1-2. Gardner Minshew looked unbelievable. Aside from that first game, the Colts really have everything humming right now. And I don't know if the Bears do. Maybe Nick Foles comes in and dominates, which is very, very, very possible because you saw what he did in the second half. But I'm not sure the Bears are where the team of the Colts is yet. And that's saying something because the Colts have lost and the Bears haven't. So it's kind of, it all contradicts each
We're
other.
dedicating the whole season to Gale, too.
Gail Sayers?
Yeah.
That's very nice of you guys.
Wow. That's very nice, yeah.
That's very nice of you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Gail Sayers probably hated the way you guys play football in the past, but this year, dedicated to him, he's probably very thankful.
It's nice.
Team could be good. We have no idea. I'm not betting that game, by the way.
Phil Rivers doesn't give a crud about Chuck Pagano and his birthday.
But the issue is Phil Rivers is going to be seeing a defense that is going to be, I think, very aggressive.
Yeah,
I would assume Chuck is going to try to, make a. I assume the defense is going to try to make a couple plays in this particular one. There's always like when players go back and play against the teams that they played for, or for instance, if you're a coach that was fired from a place and now you're the defensive coordinator and your team is like, hey, we got you. Like, hey, we got you, Chuck. I think the defense is going to be very, very, very motivated. The Bears are plus 2.5 hosting the Colts this weekend. I'm not going to bet on it because I truly don't know what the hell is going to happen with Nick Foles playing as their quarterback the entire time. What's the vibe of the team with Nick Foles as the leader as opposed to Trubisky? What are they going to do? What's the offense going to look like? Nobody knows. Is it the second half of that game, or is it the first 3 quarters of the other game where they didn't play football well at all? You never know. That's why I'm not going to bet.
Just don't know who they are.
It's tough, and I don't like to say
undefeated too.
It's irresponsible.
Nick Foles, it seems like every time he has like a big time success, usually it rains shit on him not too long afterwards. So I'm hoping he stays healthy. I'm hoping that he plays well, but I would not be surprised if.
I can't wait to eat my victory steak.
All right, we are getting a call now from Starkville, Mississippi, from a man named Lee Battle. What's going on, Lee?
Wow.
Cuzzy, boys, how we doing on Feel Good Friday?
Hey, Cuzzo, feeling good down there. How's Starkville, Mississippi? I believe that's a home of Mississippi State. Bulldogs down there. Mike Leach.
We are buzzing with Coach Leach down here in the air raid offense.
I like that. By the way, everybody said the air raid offense wouldn't work in the SEC because defensive lines are too good, corners are too damn bad. He came out against Ole Miss and just had quite a day, and then against LSU, quite a day. Good for Starkville, Mississippi.
Was that Peen in the end zone game?
No.
Yeah, don't think Arkansas is ready for it this weekend either.
But the Egg Bowl, yeah. Arkansas is probably going to catch 50 to 60 this weekend.
Yeah.
And no offense, hey, Woo Pig Suey, we like what you got going on. But I think it's Cowbell weekend for these Starkville, Mississippi State folks. What do you want to talk about, Lee Battle? Is that your real name?
Yes, that is my real name. I have a conspiracy theory for you guys. I've been meaning to call in with it for a while. So you know how they say Paul McCartney died and the Beatles kind of carried on with just a look-alike guy?
Yeah.
Do you think the same thing possibly happened to Jimmy Graham?
Oh, come on.
Oh, no.
It does kind of make sense.
Lee fucking Battle.
From the top rope.
He was so good whenever he was with the Saints, man. He was unbelievable. Game changer. We need more basketball players to play tight end because Antonio Gates is this. Jimmy Graham is this. Then all of a sudden he goes to Seattle, then to Green Bay, then to Chicago now, I think. I think he scored
They did.
And he does make plays every once in a while. But that Jimmy Graham of the original Jimmy Graham, the OG Jimmy Graham, potentially before lookalike Jimmy Graham comes in, was unstoppable.
Yeah.
He was the tight end at the goal line in the red zone before Gronk even, that the ball was going to him every single time. He used to windmill dunk on the upright. They had to make a rule against him dunking. That's how much he was celebrating. And then he gets to his next stops, and that just didn't happen. There wasn't much celebration.
No, yeah, that was back before he ran like an 8-second 40, which is basically what he does now. And I mean, it's pretty evident. You know, COVID started. He can't fly a B-52 175 hours during the week.
He does fly a lot of crop dusters if we're looking for a reason of.
He's been doing good though.
And what you just heard there, Ty Schmidt, about the Plains, is a Green Bay Packers fan that was thoroughly disappointed with his appearance on the Packers team because he thought he could have been a real weapon for him.
Yeah.
And he was not.
No. I mean, but hey, you know, he's a Blue Angel, so that's great.
Lee Battle with a great question. We'll continue with phone calls on the other side. Plus Trent Dilford, hour 1 wrapping up. All right, meow. We'll be back on the other side. Go take a leak. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Friday, October 2nd.
Pat, quick 20.
I thought that way too. What's that?
Quick 20.
Buckets! Body, no, hey, by the way, just like splash, which I think is double.
Don't be making up.
No, yeah, it's like when you shut somebody out, it's double. Like, I think it was 40, dude.
Hey, double or nothing.
We're trying to get double. A green card?
Double or nothing.
So,
Some more important things.
Come on.
I'm worried about a $40 shot.
$20.
You saw the poll. Did you see the
So
poll?
it would be a $40 shot.
$40 shot,
If you make it.
Well, this is an $80 shot for you.
No.
Yeah.
That's not how this works. No.
Get back on D! Back on D! That's 18!
40.
All right!
New week. New challenge.
Once again, trying to get a dude into the country legally.
You're not getting into the country, guys. All right, I need you to make one free throw. $20.
Okay, so you owe me 100.
No, I owe you 60.
You owe me 80.
I owe you 40.
You owe me 80.
You hit 20 and then you hit double or nothing.
No, the 20 was doubled because there was a splash. Your poll said that. This is a democracy.
Okay, well, if you splash the free throw, then we'll double the 20.
No. Okay, then you owe me 120.
All right, good luck.
Oh my God. The Canadian soccer player versus the American. What a play, Nick. That's tough, dude. A perennial Pro Bowler, an All-Pro, a man who's aging like fine wines, Green Bay Packers legend, Super Bowl champion, from Butte, California, ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Rodgers!
Please tell me that that's going to be a one-time thing.
What is the longest you've ever thrown?
Yeah, somewhere between 68 and 70, Pat. I don't know, right in that sweet spot.
Oh, 69 yards is how far you threw it. Nice, congrats.
Hell yeah!
Hell yeah! Of course you have, by the way. Of course you have. With that doesn't get you going for a game? Are you kidding me?
No, but I have a funny Creed story. So, in 2007, we're playing the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday night. We're 10-1. I have long hair. I'm a backup, and before the game we walked down the field, and I don't know if it was on purpose, but our intro song was Creed with Arms Wide Open. I looked to my buddy Nate Weir, who AJ knows Nate really well, and we both said this is going to be a good night. And that was the night I came in off the bench and played pretty well and kind of changed the narrative about me from possible draft bust to hey, this guy might be able to play, maybe.
Thank you, Creed.
Yeah!
My kids say, like, oh, if they see him on TV, oh, there's Uncle Aaron, look at that. Oh, Dad, is that Uncle Aaron's dog? I'm like, nah, it's a prop dog. They're like, well, what happens to that? I was like, oh, I think he has it killed after that.
hell's wrong with you? AJ.
I noticed this past Sunday you were smiling, shaking hands, giving a lot of high fives to the boys on the side. What have you seen in this old footage that has rejuvenated your love? Or is it something else about this 2020 season that seems to have you just in a better headspace?
Why am I having so much fun?
Bingo.
I have just a new and increased love of life. And I've made decisions and changes and habits that put me in a lot better headspace. And there's just a lot of things that have come together in my life over the last few months that have really been enjoyable and reminded me, given me perspective on life and in football to view things through the most positive lens I possibly can. And that's why I'm having so much fun. And it starts with love. And then surround yourself with people that you really enjoy. This show is, to get sentimental, this show is just another step in that, because I love Paige so much. And Pat, I have so much respect for you and the boys. Like, this was such a fun opportunity. And now I look forward to this every Tuesday.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Oh my God, here we are. Friday, October 2nd, hour 2 of this Feel Good Phone It In Friday. 7 calls down in hour 1. How many in hour 2? Boom. Let's find out. Let's please bring up the sidebar, by the way.
Yeah!
Got a lot going on in the sports world that'll serve as a reference point for whatever somebody calls and asks about. Also, at Viva La Zito, the handsome Chicago man who is normally Don Zito. The Bears and Colts play this weekend. $20 on the game, you and me, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. What does your poll say?
Who's the better quarterback? Josh Allen, only 9%. Aaron Rodgers, 29.7%. Patty Mahomes, 42.8%. And Mr. Unlimited, 18.5%.
Okay, so who's the better quarterback was the poll of the day with those 4 on there. And by the way, I was not a fan of this poll because I didn't want Buffalo Bills Mafia to associate that poll result with me because I am saying I love Josh Allen.
Yeah, I love Josh Allen.
I love what he does. Okay, I think he's a freak athlete. I think he throws the ball far. I love Buffalo. I'm a big fan of Buffalo.
Huge.
At Boston Connor and I, big fans of Buffalo.
I vacation in Buffalo.
By the way, I actually did too.
Yeah.
These are 2 people that took actual vacations that have been speaking in the microphone here in Buffalo on numerous occasions.
Yes.
And I just would like to ask a simple question. Bills Mafia, if right now you could have Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback or Josh Allen as your quarterback, which one are you taking? And if you say Josh Allen, I love everything about you guys because your loyalty runs very, very, very deep. But whenever you lay your head down at night, and you're not talking to me or talking to anybody around you that could potentially question your fanhood of Josh Allen and Buffalo Bills, you fucking know.
Yep.
You know. And by the way, Josh Allen in like 5 years, maybe next year even, maybe the end of this year, maybe he'll be the best quarterback to ever play football. I think that is possible. I think it's legit possible, especially with how strong he is, how athletic he is. Sean McDermott, they're building a Mr. Bean up there, building a team around him. But just right now we're saying, I don't know, man. Hey, I might be wrong, to be honest with you, but that tends to not be the case. Let's go to Ross in Pennsylvania. What's going on, Ross? I don't want to toot my own horn, but it does feel like
Hey, boys, how are you?
much more often.
I think you're probably
Usually.
And it's a gift and a curse. I want to let you know. It sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks being this guy, but
Sorry.
somebody's got to do it.
Exactly.
You should see how my wife feels about it. She hates it. Let's go to Ross in Pennsylvania. What's going on, bub?
Hey, boys, how are you today?
Hey, not too shabby. How are you?
Good Friday, except for the Steelers news. Hate that.
Hate it.
Yeah.
Hey, the good news for the Steelers, though, is they have 0 positive cases, so they'll at least be able to play next week. The Titans games are now in question for next week as well because they're continuing to get positives for the Rona in the 19. So very interesting situation. Sucks for the Steelers. They're going to have to rattle off 17 straight if they want to make it to the Super Bowl. But here we are. This is 2020. You got to be tough if you're from Pittsburgh anyways. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, but here's the problem. We got 3 straight road games for them now. Titans, Ravens, Cowboys. And, early bye week, like you guys have already talked about, not great, but it is what it is. But now you're giving the Ravens a bye week before they're playing the Steelers, so they got extra time to prepare for the Steelers now.
We do not care. That's what Mike Tomlin said. Ross, you're just going to have to adapt that mentality because I'll tell you what, you can wish for this to change or you can just sit there and bitch about it not changing, and it's both going to have the same exact outcome. There's nothing any of us can do at this point, you know? Ross, we're not happy about it either, I want to let you know. I don't like that the players didn't get a chance to have the mindset that they're in a bye week whenever they didn't even know they were in a bye week, and I think about them as humans as opposed to just players on the field that have to go out there and be the gladiators and beat the shit out of themselves and other people to get wins for a city. But Mike Tomlin, you, everybody in Steelers Nation is just going to have the mindset of, hey, there's nothing we can do about this.
Ross seems like he may be from a white-collar part of Pittsburgh because he's making excuses and we're just not doing it.
Whoa. Is there division? Is there division in the Steelers fan base? Ross, you did not deserve that, Ross.
Ask him where he's from.
Wow.
Ross, where are you from?
Originally from north of Pittsburgh, but now I'm in Reading.
So he's not even.
Good railroad.
North of Pittsburgh, where at?
Like north, Mercer County, like Sharon area. Middle of nowhere.
All right, well, we appreciate you, Ross. There's nothing you can do about it, though, but I'm sure the players are happy that you're pissed off about it because Diggs has Diggs has let the players know that if you are even upset about this at all, you're soft. That's what Diggs has said to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Depends on the player, but yeah.
It's Rocky in Oregon. What's up, bub?
Hey, what's going on, Pat? Happy Feel Good Friday to you and the boys, man.
Hey, you too, Rocky. I enjoy talking to you every single week. What's going on, brother?
Hey, well, it's actually kind of funny. Yesterday you had my brother on, and him and I have a competition about who can actually get on the show during the week. So you got both of us now. So
who's your brother?
Started a little. He was Matt from NorCal.
He was the one that told us the entire setup about Northern California trying to leave Southern California.
State of Jefferson.
And I will say this, Rocky, he had a great call, a memorable one. We just literally recalled the entire conversation. That is going to be a tough act to follow going into weekend. You might get alphaed by your brother this particular week, Rocky.
I'm not going to get alphaed by my younger brother, man. Hey, can't let that happen.
All right,
let's see it.
We'll be the judges.
Happening. Hey, so real quick, shout out to Ty, man. You're like a fucking national treasure. You bring hilarity and good laughs every week. I appreciate that.
I know what you're doing, pal. All right,
this guy.
Thank you, but I know what you're doing.
Because if you do get Ty on your side, Ty will be very loud, and he knows that. He knows that there's a chance that Mad Mel's on that side, Coach Gruden's on that side, Lou Holtz is potentially on that side.
Ty's a swing state.
Ty is a swing nation. It's not just. It's a
multiple people.
All right, so good idea.
He's like a Swiss Army knife in there. I mean, he can do impressions. I mean, he's got it all for you guys. But
gets you.
I want to address.
Francesa
gets you a point.
All right, what do you want to talk about, brother?
I want to address the stolen valor out of the office there between Tony, Connor, and Nick, calling themselves ranchers. I myself am a real farmer, and it's slanderous. Tony, you didn't even know what a cattle guard was yesterday.
I know what a cattle guard is.
What it was. Mitt knew what it was.
Rocky, I'll let you know, man. Whenever you watch that Costner Yellowstone thing, you really start buying in it. And Diggs has said he is a chameleon to whatever he is watching at the time. You should have seen the Mad Men run that Diggs went on. He was going to speakeasies. He was only doing certain things. His hair was slicked back. He started dressing interesting.
Damn near got lung cancer.
Damn near got black lung because of Mad Men. So I apologize for him. Stolen valor of being a rancher, but he watched a lot of Kevin Costner acting as
I did.
We never claimed to be ranchers. We were rugged outdoorsmen.
Yeah, well, we're
big time rods.
I'm a creek boy, so
I mean,
I couldn't tell you how to. What is a ranch? It's just a bunch of animals running around.
It's where you basically raise cattle to be sold.
It's great with pizza.
Yeah, so I have a friend who's a rancher, I guess. Old Reed.
Yeah.
But he's also a farmer too, Rocky. So I got a rancher farmer friend.
Be careful with that distinction as well. They
do not
take kindly to that.
Oh yeah, because you got to have a little bit of respect, and if you can do both, I guess you're a real big Richard Nick Foles in that.
Jekyll and Hyde.
And that's what I got. I think right now is harvest. Is it harvest right now?
Right before the winter snow.
I believe it's harvest right now.
Good season.
Good see. Long work hours. Long work hours for a farmer. My former roommate is the rancher farmer, Reed Williams, former All-American college football player for West Virginia, middle linebacker, blew out both of his shoulders. I think he would have played in the NFL. Very athletic, very tall, very smart. Used to love hitting people. His dad owns like 2 mountains in West Virginia, down in the hills of West Virginia, and now he's like a farmer. His IG stories are being updated very late right now. I mean, we're talking like 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, and then very early the next morning. I'm like, hey, I appreciate you doing what you're doing out there for them corn and the chickens and everything.
Soybeans.
Sun up to sundown.
Someone's got to do it.
It's not an easy gig, man. It is not easy. I would never be able to do it. And to be honest, I don't know how he's doing it. I
Probably loves it.
Yeah, he's a warrior.
That's in his family, I think. So.
That's what I mean. You know, he's just used to it.
He's probably in the Future Farmers of America program.
Yeah. I got a lifetime memory of the FFA. Hey, that's what I make for a little pay. Tractor.
Macarena.
Tony in Jersey, what's going on, Tony?
What's up, Pat? How's it going? Thank you for having me. Before I get on my soapbox about the goddamn Jets, I want to say how amazing it is the last 2 years you've had when you left Barstool, and look at you now. You're back on Sirius. You're back on top of the world.
We are nowhere near the top of the world, but I appreciate that. I was very lucky to obviously work for Barstool, got a chance to learn a lot, and since we've kind of come off on our own here, it's been a wild ride. I mean, it has been a very stupid run, but I got a great group of humans around me that you guys get to hear on a daily basis, and we're just trying to put one foot in front of the other, okay? We're trying to control the controllables. We're trying to have our blinders on, not worry about what's going on outside of here, and just do what we can do to get better every single day. And we appreciate guys like you, Tony, who've been rocking with us since the very beginning, because there's been a lot of shows that have been absolutely terrible. So the fact that you've stuck around, we appreciate the shit out of you too, Tony. Couldn't be here without you, pal.
Hell yeah.
Thank you. Do you realize that you have brought hope and the demise of the Jets over the years with your career?
Me?
You led us in the playoffs. Then you beat us in the playoffs, right?
Oh yeah, we did.
Then your Steelers beat us the next year in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, that did happen.
And then you just start cough and corner us and leave us on like the 2-yard line.
Yeah, I did.
Sorry, Tony.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, Tony. Oh. I have one of my best plays against the Jets, actually. A little bit of a low snap on, I believe it was Monday Night Football.
Ooh.
I did like a shortstop catch on it, and then I got real lucky. Things spun back, rolled out at like the 1 yard line.
Oh, let's go.
I believe McDonough was the play-by-play guy. Gave me a lot of love, a little bit of a pop there. So I enjoyed playing at MetLife Stadium, and always meant like a lot of people are watching, because for the Jets and Giants, even the games that aren't nationally televised, for the amount of humans that live in the area, the numbers are always going to be big. So anytime you play over there, it's like, all right, a lot of people are watching this, even if it's not on national TV, which I think every time we played there it was, but no, maybe not. One time it wasn't. But hey, that field, I think there's real questions.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Mostert came out yesterday, and last night he said, oh, another injury on the MetLife field. Wouldn't have guessed it, basically. It was like, yeah, this is what we were saying as the 49ers whenever they said that there was an issue with that field. And it's a new field, I guess, this year in MetLife. And they said that it's been compliant with every single protocol or every check that they've had to give him by the NFL, the NFLPA, another person, whatever. But me and AJ said this immediately upon the players complaining about the field. We said, like, the players aren't going to lie about. Like, that's not something the players are going to lie about. Now, it's because that was the same day that there was like 3 people that got hurt on the field, like big injuries. Boom, boom, boom. And they came out and they said the field felt tacky. I think they said it felt like sticky or something like that. And then it got checked and they came out like, no, there's nothing wrong with it. And I always try to think of the humans that are making this statement, and I say that a lot on this particular show, but I think it's a real thing, because you got to remember that the people that are playing in the NFL, they poop, they piss, they sleep, they feel emotions. They are exactly like everybody else.
They wear socks.
So I just don't. Maybe some of them don't, though, because you got to be like Zito sometimes and just ruin entire atmospheres you come into with your feet. But it's one of those things.
Come on.
What's that? What's that?
You wearing socks right now?
No, it wasn't a foot joke. It was just about not wearing socks and potentially ruining the smell of rooms that you walk into.
Climate change.
Because
that's why we had the plants in here.
Bingo. So I just didn't see how that would be something that the players would lie about. And AJ was with me. He was like, it doesn't seem like that's something players would lie about. But we haven't heard much from any other players other than from that particular.
That's what I was going to say. Like, you haven't heard anything from the Jets or the Giants players or any other team that's played there really besides the 49ers. So that's why it's confusing.
It's just a weird thing to lie about. It just feels like a weird thing to lie about because in the NFL, I mean, aside from the Canton game, which is at a high school in Ohio that I was a part of with the Packers that got canceled, the Hall of Fame game because the field was so bad because they painted on top of the rubber. Then they put a black tarp over top of it in the middle of the summer. And I think they actually held magnifying glasses to make sure the sun hit, and it just cooked everything that was on the field basically to make it one big tarp of just rubber on top that guys couldn't play on. And then the one in Mexico, I guess the field wasn't good enough. But there's no standard NFL field that would, I guess the Texans used to have one too. I think they were caught in a lawsuit because there was stuff, and the Steelers used to have an issue. But you haven't heard that type of thing talked about for a regular stadium in a long time. So when the players come out and say, "Oh, the field is bad," it's like I don't know why they would just like that. Doesn't seem like just a standard, like they out executed us, they did this. Oh, by the way, the field was a problem. I just don't know why players would complain about that. It felt like something that was weird to lie about. But now they're saying, yeah, they did lie about it because it's checked every.
Yeah.
But people are getting hurt on there. People are getting hurt on there.
But if they're checking the fields, right? I mean, what do they want them to do?
I have no idea.
Switch it out?
I have no idea. Well, by the way, I've never seen a bad field or a bad ball, baby. I never seen one. Yeah, right. When I played soccer, I was like one of the most diva motherfuckers.
Let it fly.
Can we please get a smooth field so I can potentially? What do we got? We just got bumps everywhere. How am I supposed to? I got pinpoint precision with this ball, and then you guys are just putting me on this cow mill. I mean, what do you want from me out here? It's unbelievable.
It just makes no sense. Well, that's what I was thinking. Like, even if guys were out there and they say there's an issue with it, like they're not going to cancel the game.
No.
So,
especially if it's compliant with all their checks.
Right.
Let's go north of the border with Chris up there in Canada. Chris, a lot of bad things have been said about Canada since Gumpy has come into our office, and I want to let you know, I don't believe in any of them. I can't wait to talk to you. I assume you're going to have an incredibly intelligent take and everything like that.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. Everyone has their own opinions on Canada.
What is your opinion on Canada?
Well, it's a great place. We have a terrible leader, and we need him out as soon as possible.
Okay, all right. Politics show. Can't wait to dive into that after your call. What do you want to talk about, brother?
Well, I'm trying to figure out. I'm currently looking at something that you guys don't talk too much about because it's a sports show. I understand and respect that. I'm currently looking at 2 articles about one of my favorite video games, Borderlands, possibly finding a solution for COVID.
Whoa. A video game has solved COVID in the video game or in real life?
Both.
Well, they have a mini game that within the video game where you match up tiles and that data gets taken. And
holy shit! Let's go to Matt and Hershey. Chris, I'm sorry. That was a sabotage. That was a sabotage of the show. Yeah. Some other show that is on the same time as us had that person call in and say, give a bad call. I didn't hear a real Canadian accent early, but then he started hammering home with out and about because he wanted to continue to run with the gimmick. I think that was a sabotage phone call from Canada, Gumpy. I do not appreciate it.
That's tough. It's a tough look.
Yeah, it's bad for Canada.
Canada stinks.
I mean, what the hell is he talking about?
Connor, I'm just saying.
Connor.
These days, did you hear that guy?
Is enough, and now this. I've had it.
Yeah, well, they stink. Did you hear that guy?
You stink.
Let's go to Matt.
Got your ass.
Wow. Hey, we beat the Dolphins by 10. I don't give a shit what that guy has to say.
Still one more game. Got him.
Matt and Hershey, what's going on, pal?
Good afternoon, Pat. I'm on the Vimus and on this Feel Good Friday. It's a great day to be a McAfee Mafia member.
Yeah! We appreciate you, brother. Can't appreciate you enough up there in Hershey. I assume that's a good place to have the vitamins because everything you could potentially want is actually created in said backyard over there.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, whoever leaked the merch discount code for the members can go get stuck.
Yeah, go get stuck in some mud maybe. There's a new discount code, I believe, being launched out there because McAfee Mafia members, which are members of our YouTube page, they get access to certain things. A discount code where 25% was one of them until one of the members decided to go ahead and rat. You know what I mean?
What are you gonna do?
And they gave it out everywhere. Can't have it.
Haven't heard from that guy.
Can't have anything nice these days.
Won't have it. Anyways, what do you want to talk about, brother?
All right. From this week on forward, the Saints have the second easiest schedule behind the Cowboys. We get Mike Thomas is still questionable, but we're looking to get back this week. Kamara is basically having more receiving yards than rushing yards. Are the Saints going to go on redemption run by burying Fox's Lions this weekend?
See, but here's the thing. What if the Lions beat the Saints? How do you feel at that particular point? Because then it's a whole different ball game. I believe Drew Brees is completely defeated when Michael Thomas is not on the field with him. So if they do get Michael Thomas back, I think stats say that they're going to up the percentage of their chances of winning mightily because those two are quite a little tag team. But the Lions are a team that just went into the desert and got a big win. And Kyler Murray didn't have his best game, so they weren't playing against MVP Kyler, but they were playing against a hell of a team. This could be one of those games for Lions fans on the other side that are like, okay, now we can get set up to get heartbroken yet again. We just beat the Saints after beating the Cardinals that people were saying was a very different team. This feels like more so that type of game than Saints beating the Lions.
I agree.
But it also could be because what I watched Aaron Rodgers do to the Saints just a week ago.
Yeah, I don't see the Lions beating the Saints after the Saints have lost 2 in a row. That just seems tough to me. But like I said about the Cardinals last week, the Lions will fuck around and win a game they should not win. Maybe they'll do it twice.
Maybe. You're saying Cardinals was a game they shouldn't have won?
Yeah, they shouldn't have won. They were the underdogs, and they came in and they won.
Yeah, but I feel like the Lions for a long, long time. You know how they said Bill Belichick and Tom Brady were favorites in a game for like 70-some weeks straight or whatever. 76 straight weeks or whatever. It feels like the Lions have potentially been on the other side of that for just as long.
Yeah, I mean, the Lions hadn't won a game since October 27, 2019 until last week. So, yeah, I think you're actually right by saying that. That's awesome.
I think they're only getting 15% of the money, so it might be a good thing, it might be a bad thing. Who knows?
Who, the Lions?
Yeah.
I like, for whatever reason, and I have a strict do not bet on the Jets rule.
Yeah. Yep.
And there's some people that have like a do not bet on Falcons rule because it's inevitable you get heartbreak potentially.
Yep.
I do not have a do not bet on the Lions rule because I think this show has been betting on Detroit for a long, long time.
Well said.
We traveled to Detroit on a regular basis. We represent Detroit, I think, on a quite a few occasions. We've been fighting to get internet available for all of Detroit.
Seriously.
We have put a spotlight on water not being very, drinkable in parts of Detroit on a regular basis. We've said that the Lions fans, and the Tigers fans, and the Red Wings fans, and the
Pistons.
and the Pistons fans.
There it is.
Do not, and once again, the Lions fans do not deserve how they've been treated the last few years. It's been a long, long haul.
Long haul.
So I am not an anti-Lions bettor.
Anti.
In fact, I'm betting the Lions this week. Yeah! And by the way, I've been hot.
Oh, yeah?
But will the Lions do what the Lions tend to do, and that's curse everything?
No.
Are they your
Hammer the
Giants
money
this
line.
week?
No. Maybe they are. I'm not going to put them in every parlay. I've learned my lesson from the Giants last week. But I like the Lions against the Saints this weekend. I don't know how many points they're getting, but I like them all.
4.5.
Yep, like them all. Okay, let's go to a break. On the other side, we got Trent Dilford joining us. Can't wait to talk to him about Sam Darnold's life. That's tough. How about everything else popping around? Is Drew Brees dead? Is Aaron Rodgers playing better football than you've ever seen him, Trent Dilford? Trent Dilford, high school football coach for Lipscomb Academy down in Nashville, Tennessee, joins us on the other side. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Friday, October 2nd, 2020.
He's saying don't go off the top, it's too shallow.
All you're going to hear this stadium do is they put the big paw up, they start shaking it, they go, whoa. Yeah, he loves the defensive side of the ball. He said yesterday to me that this is a blue-collar team. They win it on special teams. They have 5 block kicks this season. The defensive side of the ball, Lynch leads the Big 12 in sacks. But also on the offensive side, Denzel Mims is an absolute animal. He is a weapon. Charlie Brewer, the quarterback from Lake Travis. His dad was a quarterback at Texas.
Yeah.
His grandpa was a quarterback at Texas. And the people here in Waco just so happen to get a chance to see Charlie Brewer on a daily basis. Hey. Yeah, boomer here is going to mean a little bit different than what it means on the internet currently. And hopefully here in Baylor, they hope they're not hearing a lot of boomer sooner. Everybody wants to be a punter, including quarterbacks. If I was a quarterback, I'd want to be a punter as well. 0 yards on that punt. It's an embarrassing situation. The Dak dance that gets on national television has led to a lot of losses, but you got to respect the hips being able to what sign am I going to make for college game day? Well, I want to make something creative. I want to make something fun. No, to hell with it. I don't like OU. It's so thick. Look how thick that thing is. That's years and years of patience. You're heading right for the boat. Right now? Okay, let's do it. We are out here on the Brazos River, which you can take a boat to the game. One of the only stadiums in the country that you can do. That's beautiful out here. A lot of people would say, this is the last time I'm going to be on game day. The last time I allegedly did what I'm about to do, I ended up in a jail cell. Let's go! Bad decision. The poop kicker's getting a lot higher than I thought.
You look like Ric Flair. That was a sellout, by the way. That was beautiful.
Do we have any other shirts? Yeah, hold on.
You need to go get changed before you get sick.
Great work, I'm actually not that cold. Hey, I went for it. My chest hurts. It was like 5 feet. I was standing there. That's full commitment, by the way.
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82.
You're damn right it is. Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show. We are currently, I believe, 14 calls into this 28 call day, I believe.
Yep, that's
15, correct. 14, 15. We are going to break our phone record today on this Feel Good Phone In Friday, and joining us now via phone, man who's a head coach for the Lipscomb Academy down there in Nashville, Tennessee, longtime NFL quarterback and ESPN pundit. Ladies and gentlemen, the man who trained Tua through an injured hip, a tornado, and still got him drafted top 5. He'll say he had nothing to do with it because he's an incredibly humble, bald man. Ladies and gentlemen, Trent Dilford. Yes! Whoa. Yeah, I love it. I love everything about it. Lipscomb Academy special teams. Let's go win this thing with Phil Dawson, pal.
That's how we roll, baby. We value teams more than anybody.
Well, you have to if you want to win game. All 3 phases matter, Coach. All 3 phases matter down there. How is the team doing? How's Lipscomb Academy? This is your first year as a head coach. What are we looking to do? How have we done thus far?
Second year, actually.
Nice.
First year wasn't that memorable. Only 7-6. It's all right, Pat.
First year.
Every year's your first year.
We won 61-0 last week.
Let's go! Wow!
Good effort. Got a big opponent, division up from us tonight out of Memphis. So that'll be a challenge. But guys are coming together. We're a pretty good ball club, and our teams lead the way.
Have you now? This is going to be a very aggressive question. You're a high school coach right now. Phillip Rivers is getting into high school coaching whenever he retires in Alabama. You got Phil Dawson down there. I think you have some other guys, too, that have played in the game. Deion Sanders is coaching now. He's brought a couple other guys into the game. Is your mindset to just coach high school and enjoy it, or is there a chance that you could potentially have a lot of success here and when the timing is right, move on up? Because it feels like there are some coaching positions that'll be maybe revolving doors for quite some time in the NFL if you were to ever really get the hang of this thing.
Yeah, I mean, I get asked this a lot. I had some opportunities the last 10 years to jump in the NFL or college, and timing wasn't right. The way I tell my simple answer is I'm not going to leave a calling for an ambition. But, at the same time, I'm not going to say no to anything. This is an incredible staff I have. I'm learning more every day. I want to finish the job here, but I'm not going to shut any doors moving forward.
I'm not going to leave a calling for an ambition. What a line that is, Coach. I mean, and last time I think you gave a speech about football the last time you were on that was just mesmerizing almost. Every day, are you talking to the team? Is there a team meeting every single day? How much interaction do you have with the squad, especially with this, COVID world that we're currently living in?
That's a great question. I try very hard to be strategic with the amount of words I use. They're teenage kids. They get preached to all day up at school. They have to sit there and be static listeners most of the day. You don't want to pile on top of that in the football environment. So we have little vignettes, is what I call them, little moments where I try to capture their attention, give them a theme, give a global message. But I try not to wear them out with the big team meetings. Only once a week where we sit down where I address the entire team. Most of the other times it's on the field, in the weight room, while they're active, trying to maximize those moments. A lot of one-on-one stuff. I think I tried my hardest to connect with them on a one-on-one basis throughout the day, throughout practice, throughout weights, whatever it is, getting to know them a little bit more. Sending messages that way. But the last thing you want is to leave school after you've been up in a classroom all day long, come down and now sit in another chair and listen to the coach talk at you instead of with you.
That's incredibly insightful of you, I think. And I assume that your players absolutely love it. That's why you're getting 61 zip dubs over teams. I mean, I like the way you're doing it down there. And you said it was your calling there earlier. That's awesome. I'm happy you're enjoying the hell out of it. Do you mind if we talk a little NFL football real quick? I don't know if you've been keeping up with the game with all your busy high school coaching you have.
I have. I've watched everything. I do want to say one thing. Since last time I was on, I can still confirm that social distancing is the stupidest term ever invented. That physical distancing should be the term, but social distancing still number one stupidest term that anybody's ever come up with.
And you say that because humans are social animals. So the fact that we are basically stating to people to stay away from other humans and no interaction, it's kind of hurting everything if you think about it more so than helping it. Physical distance, yes, not social distance. Is that the if I do recall?
Absolutely. And there was this study that came out, I read the other night, that a quarter of the kids surveyed said they've had suicidal thoughts coming out of quarantine. I mean, just think about that staggering number, especially for these high school kids. I mean, it's been amazing. And I'm sure every high school coach that's watching this will go, heck yeah. It's been amazing when they came in, how broken they were. And just after a couple months of being together, football, having something bigger than themselves, how their life is starting to breathe life back into them, and they're actually thriving instead of just trying to survive.
Whenever you said they were broken, what do you mean? Just lack confidence? They were kind of scared of everything because they were kind of being locked in their own rooms without their friends for a while? And maybe, by the way, if you watch that Social Dilemma show, on these smartphones, you kind of get rubbed in your face what you weren't invited to or what this is happening, and while you're being home, you feel like the FOMO thing, which is very real for a lot of people, they had that happening. Is that what you mean? And I'm never around humans that age, so I am genuinely intrigued by that.
Yeah, confidence, identity issues, confusion. I think that's a huge one. You know, they're not 40 years old and know how to go through information flows, whether, political information, just the stuff we're being fed all the time. So they hear little tidbits and they're forming these giant opinions of stuff with limited information. So they're super confused. A lot of them admitted to me that they're looking at the wrong stuff on their phones, on their computers. They all had Wi-Fi still. And there's a lot of rotten stuff out there on the internet. So a lot of kids are going down dark tunnels with what they're consuming during quarantine. The lack of accountability. Parents, even though they're at home, parents trying to do their jobs from the other room. Kid has no accountability. Affirmation. They weren't getting affirmed from their friends, from their social groups. Really broken kids. And now they're back. Like I said, the easiest way I can say is life is being breathed back into them by being part of something bigger than themselves and having all those elements, the affirmation, having their identity be shaped and getting better and being part of something bigger than themselves. I've said that like 5 times. Just the bigness of sport, the bigness of school, the bigness of extracurriculars has helped really bring these kids back.
And I would assume, because you said, I feel like you said you were speaking for a lot of high school coaches that had to experience this. Is this a common thing whenever you talk to other coaches around, like what they experience? And I would assume for you and your second-year head coach, you're like, is this a normal thing? And I would assume everybody's like, no, this is a very different world, because we think about the physical health was the big thing here, right? Can't get COVID because physically you'll become sick. Mental health, which has been, I think, a much bigger topic of conversation in the world that we're in as of the last couple of years. And then this quarantine thing, it kind of got set aside. Like, no, we're not going to talk about that anymore. We'll just talk about the physical health. And these kids have wild time to be alive. I'm potentially getting into the baby making game, Trent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm potentially getting in there. And then I watch that Social Dilemma and I hear this and I'm like, I don't know if I'm the right guy to guide a ship here. It seems like it is almost an impossible task right now to have a child.
It's tough. It's tough sledding. It's all hands on deck all the time. I mean, we've raised ours. We're empty nesters, but now having 105 boys that you're caring for and be deeply concerned with each one of their challenges can wear on you. And it's an all-day sucker every day because it's really hard. A lot of times they're not going to give you signs that they're struggling inside. So you have to keep communication channels open all the time. We try to be really transparent. I've shared a lot of my deepest and darkest moments with my team, my coaches, so they know that they can hear it from me, that this is a comfortable place to talk. This office right here that you're looking at, I mean, there's a couch behind me. Lots of families have sat on that couch. Lots of kids have sat on that couch and poured out their souls. And you have to be a good listener. You got to be able to differentiate between football player and kid. You got to love them like they're your own, but then hold them accountable on the field as football players. So to all those high school coaches out there have been doing it for years. My dad was one, so I kind of had an understanding of it. But these guys that have done it 20, 30, 40 years, my hat goes off to you because the impact you're having is next to none.
Well, congrats, Coach. We appreciate what you're doing for your team there. I got some phone call questions for you. Do you mind if we get them? All right, let's do it. Let's go to Matt in Sin City. What's going on, Matt?
Hey, happy Feel Good Phone It In Friday.
Hey, you're damn right, Matt. What do you want to ask, brother?
Let's go. I've been a big fan of yours, the boys, ever since the alleged incident and Broad Ripple. But you know what they say? Hey, that's Broad Ripple, baby.
Hey, it's alleged. It's all alleged, obviously. What do you want to talk about, brother?
Yeah. Awesome. So question really is to you and Trent. Boys can chime in if they want. But as a Colts fan, watching Andrew Luck get abused, is Sam Darnold Andrew Luck 2.0?
That's a great question because you can put Sam Darnold and Joey Burrow into this world, I think, where they are getting slaughtered right now and probably feeling as if they have to do way more than their actual job entails. Andrew Luck was the same type of player, but different situation because he was winning games. When you look at Sam Darnold's situation and Joe Burrow's situation, I think the only similarities is that they're both getting hit a lot. But Sam Darnold, that looks like because it's the new GM who probably doesn't have loyalty to him. That's a bad situation. Sam Darnold's probably a worse situation, you think, Trent?
Yeah, worse than the NFL. I lived it my second year in 1995. First of all, I'll start by saying I stunk. So I don't want this to sound like I'm playing everybody else. I was legitimately the worst player in the NFL. Look up the back of my trading card. People forget this, but it's the worst statistical year a quarterback's ever had. Started every game.
Hey, if you're not going to be the best,
be the worst.
Be the best at being bad.
Yeah.
Boy, Trent.
But to compile it, I had a lame duck head coach in Sam Weiss. God rest his soul. Great man. Was a really good coach, but just was in a tough situation. An offensive line that really wasn't up to par. Skill guys that didn't have anything extra. Good players, but not elite guys. And we were getting our brains beat in. I was getting my brains beat in. We all were. It's really hard as a quarterback to not try to do too much. Sam has to learn. I know he got beat up last night a little bit and missed half the game, but when he comes back, he can only do his job. He can't do 10 other guys' jobs for him. And it's the hardest lesson to learn because you grow up as a quarterback and you're always the dude. You always have the ball. You always win the game. You're always the reason you're winning. I mean, we're all narcissists. It's the same formula for every quarterback growing up. And then you kind of have to settle into this. Well, I just got to do my job first and let the other things fix themselves. And then you're dealing with the rumors of your head coach being gone. Who's going to be coaching me? How's this thing going to look? Am I going to have another deal with the Jets? Do I go somewhere else? I mean, all the demons start growing on your shoulders. It's a tough situation. The only way out of it is through grit, resilience, optimism, and by doing your dang job. If the guys open the flat, throw the ball in the flat. If you're supposed to check a run to the 3 technique, check to the 3 technique. If the guys open the middle of the film, hit them. Don't wait for something better to happen. And slowly start chipping away at your job and executing at a higher level. And then hope that the organization surrounds you with better people.
We're talking to Super Bowl champion Trent Dilford right now the head coach in high school, Lipscomb Academy in Nashville. He landed on his shoulder, got kind of trapped, tossed. You haven't seen a tackle like that in a long time, to be honest with you. And he went out, and Troy Aikman, who's been in that situation, he immediately was like, oh, that looks like a collarbone. Like, I've had that before. And then he comes back out, so everybody's assuming it's the AC joint. But what do you think happened? He went back there, got an x-ray. They saw what it was. They gave him a shot, which probably had to hurt like hell. And then he comes out, he plays. On the first play, he gets back in there. He gets sacked again, so he's on it again. Today, he's probably going to be in a sling, if I had to guess. But what do you think was the process when Sam Darnold left the field last night?
I think you nailed it. If it's not a broken collarbone, that's an AC joint. I had 11 of them. So I think I had 6 on this side and 5 on that side. You can inject them fine. It helps. Regardless, it's going to be painful. I think the real challenge is, 11. I think the real challenge is this week. You can play with them. Now, it's hard, and you're not going to really feel like it till late in the week. But you earn a lot of respect from your teammates. Again, I played outside the one where I had a 3rd degree on my right shoulder and broke my collarbone. I played the week after all my separated shoulders, and I was in a great deal of pain and shot him up. Wasn't as effective, but I think it speaks volumes when a player does that for his team. And I think Sam has that opportunity to be a real tough guy here. If indeed it's not a third degree, you won't be able to play, but a first or a low second, he'll be able to play if he handles it right. And his team will respect him a lot. And as this thing gets uglier, because I think it's only going to get uglier in New York. I don't think it's going to get prettier anytime soon. He gets a lot of street cred with his teammates
and his peers around the league who see what he's going through. A lot of that happens a lot in the NFL that I don't think people truly consider. Is like everybody else watched that game last night, saw what he's going through, and was like, "All right, Sam Darnold's a dude. Like that is a guy that we wouldn't mind having on our team." Let's get to Mason and.
You said it real quick. You said something really good there. He's a dude. Yeah. Dude qualities, you get that. Like, it matters if you're a dude. Yeah. You don't have to be a great player. If you're a dude, play a long time. And all the guys in the league saw, well, that guy has dude qualities. Like, yeah, he's playing crappy. His team's not very good, but that's a dude. And we know dudes when we see them. So I think, pointing that out is a big deal.
Yeah, and I do think whenever somebody says, like, that's a dude, right? Like, you got to have dudes to win a game. Like, I think that gets said sometimes by people who are former players, but it does have a pretty deep meaning. Like, okay, that you don't just throw that word around for a lot of people. It's not like one of those things. Let's get to Mason and Flint. What's going on, Mason?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, not too shabby. Let's get you some water up there.
Yeah. Water.
It's been way too long up in Flint. We try to put a spotlight on that every time we talk about it. What do you want to talk about, Mason?
Does crowd noise really have that big of an impact on you, punting at least, or at least Trent playing quarterback? Did it really have that big of an impact on you?
Great question, Mason, because now you see Aaron Rodgers abusing the hard count in New Orleans, in the Superdome, taking advantage and winning the game for themselves. And it feels like, obviously, with no crowd noise, there's no home field advantage at this point. I think the Colts are allowed to have 12,500 people at the next game. Probably be able to hear that a little bit, but not enough to affect you, Trent. For me, I didn't care. When I went out there, I had my blinders on. I'm kicking the ball, whatever. I actually want to hear people go, ooh, and if away teams do that, it's awesome too. But for a quarterback with this type of atmosphere, it's probably not even something you're thinking about. It's just every game's the same game, right?
Yeah, this is a huge deal for veteran quarterbacks in the NFL right now. We saw with Aaron the other night getting the triple count, jump off sides, pass interference, seals the game for him. Crowd noise is everything for quarterbacks. It is literally the biggest issue going into a road game. One, it gives their game records an advantage getting off the ball because your offensive line is going to be a little bit late off the ball. Communication, so much of what we do at the line of scrimmage gets us into good looks or gets us out of bad looks. So we can communicate to all their 10 guys with a few words, but they all have to get it. It has to be echoed. Everybody has to be on the same page. You go on the road and you try to do that sometimes, and only 7 guys get it, and that doesn't work. That's a sack fumble. So not having the crowd noise is a huge advantage for these veteran quarterbacks going on the road. The amount of anxiety during the week that is now gone, knowing that you have all these issues, knowing that all these communication issues won't be a factor is huge. And then the ability to use the snap count as a weapon. The interview you did with Aaron was incredible. He's the maestro of using the snap count as a weapon. Most of us that played a long time could really use it to our advantage. With no crowd noise, you can do it. But, back in the day, going into New Orleans, going into Minnesota, going into Lambeau, going into Detroit, places I played a lot of times, you literally were silent count. You couldn't weaponize your count at all. In fact, the defense would weaponize it against you. So it's a very different style of football we're seeing now. Just like a different style of life we're all living in 2020.
I love whenever you hear lines from defensive linemen giving checks or whatever that sound exactly like the cadence of the quarterback.
Yeah,
love it. It was amazing when the NFL had to address it. The NFL had to make rules against it because it was happening so much, and the way they had to describe it was like, we have a rule against fake cadences coming from a 3-point position it was an entire thing. It used to really get guys.
They should have named it the Culpepper rule. Johnny Randall was really the first guy I remember doing it in Minnesota, and Brad Culpepper played with him as a rookie, came to Tampa and became an expert in it and taught Sapp and all those guys how to use it. And they would actually watch film, get the NFL Films audio of the opposing quarterback's cadence, practice it, and then use it against us in practice, then use it in the games. It was guaranteed 2 or 3 times the opposing offense would jump against us because Brad and Warren were so good at it up front.
And they would actually make an actual shift too, so that they could say, no, that's we didn't even know it was their call. And the refs just having to be there like, you're obviously doing something right now, but it is not a rule. We got to do what we got to do.
Trent, what's the mindset of a quarterback like Russell Wilson or Dak or Aaron who now they kind of have to feel like if they don't score on every possession, there's a chance that their team won't win the game?
Yeah, I've never had to live that, first of all. I played with great defenses. I actually did. I lived it in college 100 years ago. It's kind of fun, if I remember correctly. But I got to believe they're excited about it because, again, it feeds kind of who they are. Like all these guys are alphas. They all want the ball in their hand. They all want to take the last shot of the game. They're the reliever mentality, whatever metaphors you want to use. They're all cut from the same cloth. And the more pressure that's on them to score, I think the more it brings out of them. I think it motivates them, inspires them during the week of practice to push their teammates harder, helps them be more creative. They have more aggressive mentality playing the position. The worst thing is playing quarterback with a defensive mentality. I lived it. I was able to win a Super Bowl doing it, but it's a horrible way to live when you're trying not to make a mistake instead of trying to make a play. So these guys know they got to try to make a play all the time. They're constantly pushing the envelope offensively with their schemes and with their throws, and they're watching each other, studying each other. If Mahomes can do that, then I can do it. If Russell can do that, then I can do it. If Aaron can do it, I can do it. And I think it becomes you're seeing the greatest quarterbacking in the history of the NFL happening in front of you. One, because they're very talented. 2, because football's changed; it's more offensive centric. And 3, because these guys have taken it upon their shoulders to do stuff that nobody's ever done at the position.
Speaking of that position, we currently have a poll out. Viva La Zeta, will you please read your poll right now?
Yeah, who's the better quarterback, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, or Russell Wilson?
Trent, let me explain this poll here for you real quick before you give your thoughts on it. Earlier this week, I was told by Dan Orlovsky that Josh Allen is the MVP of the NFL right now. And I said, okay, I like that you guys like Josh Allen. Is he a better football player than Aaron Rodgers right now? And Dan Orlovsky looked me in the eyes and said, yes. And I was like, wait a minute. We're saying, and I got attacked by Bills Mafia. So we just wanted to poll the people. We're a democracy here. Yeah, and right. Josh Allen is at 8.6%, but he's still in the conversation, which I think is great news for Bills fan that a third-year Josh Allen is in the conversation of who's potentially greatest in the league right now. But what you said, the quarterback play right now is at an all-time high, it feels like. Is that because, and Aaron Rodgers alluded to us, defenses feed off of the fans a lot more than the offense feeds off the fans. So he thinks that not only the hard counts and things like that, but the natural energy of a defense is potentially down a little bit because of the lack of fans. Is that why you think there's a chance quarterbacks have been dominant so far this year?
I think there's a lot of factors. That's definitely one of them. I also think that with no OTAs, no training camp, Very few practices. Tackling's awful. Defense is just trying to get a line right now. And offenses are so complex. I bet you defenses spend most of their days trying to get lined up and get their assignments right. So you're looking at remedial defense. I was doing a show, I can't remember who I was doing it with this week, and I talked about the 3 easiest days to play quarterback in the NFL are the first 3 days of camp, because the defense is installing their schemes. You're going to get cover 2, cover 3, cover 4. Like, you're just going to get basic college coverages, and us as NFL quarterbacks are going to shred that. Well, that's what you're seeing on game days. Like right now, they're still installing their base stuff defensively, so they're getting very benign looks, stuff that Aaron literally could complete the ball in his sleep. So I think that's one of the reasons. Now, to answer your question, I'm not dodging the who's best quarterback. I think Aaron Rodgers is one of the top 3 quarterbacks that's ever played the game. If you're going to do a 5-man list, I'm putting him in the top 5, probably in the top 3. I think Russell will be on that list one day. Mahomes, maybe. Mahomes got a lot more years he has to do it. Like, again, my jaw drops every single time I watch him play. I'm not minimizing anything Pat's doing.
Oh, you're going to get buried for saying that. You just said it.
I picked him to get killed in the Super Bowl, so they already hate me in Kansas City. And Josh, Josh is playing great football. Josh is a Central Valley guy in California, so I'm kind of biased. I mean, I'm rooting for Josh to be the best. But to put him on that list is kind of silly.
Yeah.
Wait,
Trent Dilford. Trent Dilford just attacked Bill's Mafia right there.
I did. Full attack. I think Josh can be a great player. I've been doing these little weekly hits with Panini, and I talked about him 2 weeks ago. I think the level he's playing at is incredible. But to talk MVP, I mean, I think it's a Russell. For me, it's Russell number 1 right now. Aaron would probably be 2. Pat would be 3, and then Josh Allen would be 4.
There we go. There we go.
MVP race.
So good.
The stuff Russell Wilson's doing, I usually have words for most things. I don't have words. It's mind-boggling.
He brings that ball down, and he talks about it with Randy Moss on his podcast. Randy was supposed to be a Seattle Seahawk. I guess they inquired about him whenever somebody got hurt, and Randy was like, I'm working out, but I'm not training. I'm not in the shape to be Randy Moss right now or whatever. And Russell Wilson had been hearing that story for the first time, and he said to Randy, Randy, I would have thrown you a deep ball that would have came down from the moon. You would have never seen it before. That's his style of like, he's doing that on purpose. Those balls that are coming down from the clouds, they're almost indefensible. You saw Gilly Lock, Stephon Gilmore was on the guy, on DK Metcalf, and that thing just came in the bucket. How hard is that throw to do?
Very hard, and it takes a ton of reps. He's obviously very naturally gifted. He's worked very hard on his craft. But I think they're a team especially that works hard on the deep ball. Because it's one thing to throw it perfectly. It's another thing for the receiver to catch the ball, not catch the ball, physically catch it, but pick it up mid-flight and adjust his angle accordingly. I think that takes a lot of work, and they do it both perimeter, so down the boundary, but they do a ton of crossing routes with it too. And you could be running at a 45-degree angle, and Russell throws it at a 38-degree angle, and you got to catch the trajectory of that ball early. You got to pick up its flight early and adjust your route to it, and they do a great job with that. So it's blowing my mind. There's the biggest thing that gets me about Russell. Is that, and my wife actually brought this to my attention. She goes, why is it every time that I'm just casually watching a game and I know the Seahawks are going to throw it, that Russell Wilson somehow gets a first down and none of the other quarterbacks do? That's pretty good commentary on her part. Never did it. Every time I knew you were going to throw it, you never got the first down.
Me.
And she goes, all these other quarterbacks, every time I know they're going to throw it, they don't get the first down. Every time Russell's throwing it and I know he's going to throw it, he gets the first down. What does that mean? I said, well, it means he's the best. It's the same thing at the end of games. Like if you're on your own 8-yard line, there's a minute 38 and you're down 4. I'm taking Russell. For whatever reason, I just feel like he's done it more than anybody else. He's going to go the distance and somehow punch in the end zone.
I can't believe you didn't say Josh Allen there. That's unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, head coach of Lipscomb Academy down in Nashville. Stay away from the Titans. Ladies and gentlemen, legendary quarterback and guru with a great beard right now. Viking-like beard, great bald head. Ladies and gentlemen, Trent Dilford. Thank
no,
you,
we're
Trent.
good now.
I appreciate you, man. Wealth of knowledge right there.
Oh, yeah.
Good
For
conversation.
sure.
Couple calls, too. I think we're up to 7 again in this hour. 8 maybe, if you count those 2 calls that came in for Trent.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate the hell out of that.
Last time there was a minute 38 left and the Seahawks were driving down the field. It was the Super Bowl, and Russell Wilson actually threw an interception.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, to Butler.
Yeah.
Because one of the guys in the backfield could have cakewalked that thing over there, man.
Yeah, and Aaron Rodgers probably would have checked to that play just to hand it off.
Because he was acting like, because he hates his coach.
Can't hear you.
Yeah.
He was acting like he didn't. Whatever. If you're listening to the show right now, what I need to ask you is, what are you listening to it with? Are you using overpriced headphones right now? Shouldn't be.
No.
Today's the day you make the change. Today's the day you switch to. Nope, these are sunglasses, actually.
Hell
this is
yeah.
not even about headphones.
Okay.
Shady Rays is an independent sunglass company, so they are not just some big corporation that overcharges for shades. Everyone knows sunglasses are way overpriced. They all come from the same factory. Shady Rays is out to do it differently with premium, polarized shades at a fraction of the big name brand cost. Shady Rays has one of the best warranties in the history of anything. Replacements of the shades if they're lost or broken for any reason. It doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter if you
Look like an idiot.
It doesn't matter if you
drop them in the ocean.
It doesn't matter if you
sit on them.
Shady Rays warranty will cover any of that and more. Try that with your high-priced, stupid shades and see if they'll help you. Even with that strong of a warranty, they still manage to make quality that I can tell you holding in my hand seems to be as good as any expensive pair that we have ever worn. Polarized lenses look perfectly clear, and the most Shady Rays are only $48. Right now, use code McAfee for 25% off any pair of shades at shadyrays.com. That's as low as $36 for incredible sunglasses with the code McAfee at shadyrays.com. Hour 2 wrapping up. Hour 3 we'll have Rex Burkhead, TVG Mike, and more phone calls on his Feel Good Phoning In Friday. This is the Pat McAfee Show, October 2nd.
What are you going with?
Taking the Broncos and the points.
Oh. How many points did you get? 1.5?
Yep. Broncos 2-1 against the spread this year. Surprisingly, 10-3 against the spread their last 13 Thursday games, and 5-2 against the spread their last 7 against the Jets. Give me the Broncos. Give me the points.
Gumpy loves his trends. Pat?
I don't know, and I don't want to pull the old.
You don't have to.
I don't want to make a pick because I'm at the top of the mountain. But let me tell you why I'm at the top of the mountain. Because I make fucking picks. I'm going with the Broncos. Turn on this mic. Is this microphone on? Can you hear me? You?
I'm in a bad place right now.
You fucking made this show. What is this? A joke? Why don't you get a potato out? Why don't you get a potato out and film yourself with a potato?
I got it. We good?
We good?
All right. Man, I'm not talking to you right now. Hold on a second.
The NHL All-Star Game and Skills Competition were just over the weekend. Did you get a chance to watch any of it?
120-157-201. Start that over. Going to go. They make these moves. My cat's jumping all over the place. Let's pause that and exit this out.
What is that?
Oh, no, the cat stays.
Cat staying in?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. What was I saying? Okay, so, like the move with Kessel.
What's that cat's
they make
name?
The move with Kessel.
What's that cat's name? I don't know you got a cat.
You're just hiding
My best
cats
friend.
from us.
I like her better than everybody in this house.
No shit.
Convenient that Zito's not here. On the last episode, Zito told a story about how some beautiful young couple was trying to fuck him over and intimidate him and
pointing and laughing, ridiculing
him,
making fun of him,
calling him a big fat stooge.
Yeah.
Like throwing food at his car and stuff like that, just to get him not to buy a house.
Yep.
Turns out they're familiar with the show, potentially even fans. They recognize Zito, and we're just waving at him to say hi and show appreciation for the show and to Zito. And Zito took that in a manner that was just incorrect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure you said this was the case as well, too.
I assumed this is what happened almost immediately. These people did actually just notice Zito, Hey, love that guy.
He's hilarious. We should wave to him.
Yeah.
And Zito took that as
Oh, fuck me. Fuck you.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about. Yes,
speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to the show. Hour 3 is kicking off momentarily right after this incredible Twine beat drop. Friday, October 2nd, 2020. Feel good. Phone it in Friday. We are attempting to break our own phone records. The original record stood at 27 phone calls throughout the entire show. We are currently sitting at how many phone calls?
15.
Okay, so we need at least 13 more. We have Rex Burkhead of the New England Patriots joining us momentarily. We have TVG Mike from TVG to talk about the ponies racing over there in Baltimore. Before we get to Rex Burkhead, let's go ahead and saw a couple more off the list here. Ladies and gentlemen, on the phone from Texas, our guy Hunter. Hunter, what do you want to talk about?
Yeah, first of all, happy Feel Good phoning in Friday, boys.
Hey, thank you. Thank you. We don't have much time.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the 0-3 Texans. You know, they're not really an 0-3 team. They face 3 of the hardest teams in the league. Going forward, what do you think that means to Deshaun Watson? Do you think he's aware that he might need to make some improvements, or do you think he's aware of what Bill O'Brien is doing to that team?
Well, he got rid of your number one weapon there, so I think that is a question. David Johnson looked good early in the opener against the Chiefs, for sure. But if you're the Texans and you go, hey, we're 0-3, but we played against 3 good teams, those 3 teams are all in the AFC too. So if there's 3 teams in the AFC that you're saying are all good, the Chiefs, the Ravens, and the Steelers, what does that mean for the future? Does that mean like, oh, yeah, we're going to lose to these teams? That's not what you paid Deshaun Watson for. So I think the thing with the Texans is, obviously they're going to have to learn their new team, and they had an incredibly difficult start to that whole thing. But is it going to get better? I don't know. Yeah. You still got Patrick Mahomes. He's very young in the AFC. You still got Lamar Jackson. He's very young in the AFC. Yep. You still have, I mean, Roethlisberger's only going to play a couple more years, but the AFC is not getting any easier, and let alone in the AFC South. If Gardner Minshew gets a team around him, look out, pal.
That is a huge game of 0-3 teams between the Vikings and Texans this week, because I assume if you lose that one, then you're pretty much just putting some nails in that coffin.
Let's go to Sean in New York. What's going on, Sean?
Hey, Pat, thanks for having me on. Boys, happy Feel Good Friday. Real quick question.
I like the way you did that,
for Justin Herbert and the Chargers, I can tell you as a Chargers fan, the fans are starting to sharpen their pitchforks. Some for Anthony Lynn here. Do you think that it's time for the Chargers with a young quarterback to move on from a good man, a good leader in Anthony Lynn to more of an X's and O's guy? Also, Chargers 7-point dogs this weekend against the Bucks, lock of the week. Definitely going to want to put your money in there. I'll hang up and listen. Thanks, Pat.
Michael Lombardi of Hammer Don believes the same thing you believe about the Chargers and the Bucks. By the way, betting on the Chargers this weekend, I do believe. He said that Chargers defense is a good one, even though they got somebody hurt, I think. And the Tampa Bay win over Carolina wasn't as clean as everybody's making it out to be. The defense had a hell of a performance. Now, it's only a matter of days or weeks maybe until that offense in Tampa is fully humming. Got Gronk involved a little bit more last week. Let's assume that keeps going. Godwin's got a hamstring or whatever, but they still have a plethora of...
Fournette is out as well.
But they still got a plethora of running backs. They have a plethora of weapons, and if that offense can continue to grow and mold together around Tom Brady's big old brain, it's only a matter of time. Michael Lombardi, though, likes the Chargers, I believe, +7 or +7.5, whatever it is. Is that right?
Yeah, but Lombardi also liked the Jets last night.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean,
how was he last week?
Well, hold on though. Let's not dump all over the Paisan that used to be
I'm
GM.
just asking.
Sure, sound like you're going to have to answer him. By the way,
I don't even know.
I would like you two to potentially tell what you're about to say to Michael Lombardi's face, maybe here in a little bit.
I'm just asking you guys.
I gave a goddamn football lesson yesterday. Give him a break.
He literally taught people football. Hammer Down this podcast,
awesome.
Hammer Down podcast that Diggs hosts or whatever. It's me, Diggs, Gumpy, Michael Lombardi. Yesterday was an entire football lesson, breaking down why teams are doing what. He has been a bit cold, though, on his gambling picks.
Oh, what did he do last week?
But when it comes to Air Bear, I'm not 100% sure what they're going to do over there. Our guy, Tom Telesco, is the GM. He's been there for a long time now. They just had a quarterback change. Obviously, Phillip Rivers was a constant there. They had a city change, a new stadium change. I assume you give Anthony Lynn at least another year after this one to let Air Bear grow a little bit, but I'm not 100% sure. I thought I was going to learn a lot about Chargers, and then I stopped watching Hard Knocks and because there were so many other things happening in our world, including, NBA playoffs and everything else like that. So I don't know anything about the Chargers. I don't know enough about them, but Lombardi loves them. And if Lombardi loves them, that means there has to be some sort of reason. I don't know what it is.
Hey, they got Bosa. I mean, they got a good D-line, right? Derwin James getting hurt.
Got hurt, right?
Melvin Ingram's out.
Melvin Ingram. Yeah, that's it. Bosa got hurt in San Fran. Ingram got hurt down there.
James is hurt.
Yeah. They gave the Chiefs the business, though.
They did.
Which is a big deal. Everybody knows that. Let's pivot to a team that's been great for, I don't know, it feels like 55 years at this point. This man scored a touchdown from jumping 21 feet, getting dunked on his head last week, and 2 tutters in total. Ladies and gentlemen, 3 touchdowns total. Ladies and gentlemen, legend of a man, running back for the New England Patriots, Rex Burkhead.
I appreciate you having me, man.
Thank you for joining us. Massive weekend last weekend for you. I assume it's just another day at the job for you, but that had to feel like a pretty good Sunday to contribute like that.
Yeah, it was a good game. Good game all around. And, we're definitely looking forward to the challenge this week in KC, though.
Whenever you're flying through the air about to land on your head and you're going to score a touchdown, does that kind of, like, they kind of offset each other? Like, oh, I might land on my head. I'm scoring a touchdown there. Who cares?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're scoring, so it doesn't matter. Just give your body up.
Your team this year is one that I think was talked about in a different fashion than in years past, obviously, because the constant of Tom Brady and Bill Belichick being the tag team was no more. And there was a lot of dramatic stories. There was books, there was interviews, there was all this stuff. But when it comes to football, when Cam Newton gets signed after being a unemployed human for 86 nights somehow, and Bill Belichick signed, at what point did you realize, was there Zoom calls happening? Was it already in person? At what point did you realize, like, oh, this Cam thing is going to be awesome up here? And was it immediately just because, oh, Bill made this decision? Or was it like, okay, at one point you saw it, you're like, okay, Cam's going to be awesome for us?
Yeah, I mean, you always trust in Bill. I mean, he's super intelligent, knows what he's doing, knows how to put a team together. But then just seeing Cam's preparation every single day, and then, of course, going out and playing with him. You see why he's been a former MVP, and just, of course, being out there with him, how much fun he has playing the game, and just the abilities to make plays.
And you've played in other places. I believe you're at Cincinnati. I think that's where you met A.J. Hawk. You're in some other spots. Whenever you get to New England, they always talk about the Patriot way, the Patriot way, the Patriot way. Is that overblown, or is it different than anywhere else you've been in a couple different fashions?
Yeah, I mean, of course, we have our unique way in business of going about things. I mean, just high expectation standards every single day. And, we love competing, and that's what Coach Bill preaches to us every single day. And so if you want to say that's the Patriot way, then I guess that's what it is.
That's hilarious. That their way is winning football games. Yep. Hey, I tell you what, the Patriot way up here. What is the Patriot way? Oh, they practice hard. Okay. What else do they do? They learn about situational football. Okay. They work out hard. Okay. They have a coach that is trying to outdo the other coach. Okay. So the Patriot way is like just winning football? Is that what the Patriot way is? It feels like that. It really is what it is, though, because there's no reason that any team, even if you have a entire roster filled with great players, should be this good for this long, Rex. It's just not a normal thing. Do you guys realize that in there? Like, hey, this is not what it's like everywhere? Or is it just, hey, we're doing day to day. Let's just keep it moving?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of both, honestly. I mean, it's just a day-by-day thing. Like I said, the expectations are high. And Bill enforces that. He makes sure you're never, just resting in what you've done in the past. You're growing, you're getting better every single day. And that's a challenge for us. We can't think about last year or the previous seasons. It's all about now, the present, and this year.
Bill Belichick, whenever he's mic'd up, is the best. And the shots of Bill Belichick on the sideline are awesome. You guys score a touchdown, and there isn't even like a break. There isn't even a break in his face or in his consciousness of celebration or happiness. A touchdown is like a first down. It's a completion. It's just a part of the process. Is Bill always like that, or is in practice and in meetings there's a different side of Bill that we see, like his dog drafting for him, like an awesome side that he just refuses to show everybody outside of the building?
Yeah, no, I mean, Bill's great. I mean, of course, you see him locked in on game day, and always thinking about the next play, but he definitely has some jokes he throws around that are pretty hilarious, and likes to keep it loose every now and then. And so that's just how he is, and that's why he's so great.
Was there anything said about the shirt that he wore to that press conference?
Yes. Julian was a big fan.
There's probably only a couple guys, I'd assume, that have been around long enough that could chirp at Bill Belichick. I assume Julian is one of them.
Yeah, Jules, he has a little leeway, just a little bit, though.
Squirrel, I think is what they call him. Isn't it? They call him Squirrel. What do you got, Diggs?
Squirrel, yeah. Squirrel.
Hey, you got to get a nut, dog. What do you got, Diggs?
Rex, it always seems like the Patriots, at least for the last few years, has been a running back by committee, and then you don't know if it's going to be like some back's going to get 28 carries a game or some back's going to get 15 catches a game. At what point during the week do you guys have an idea of who's going to have the big game as far as the running backs go?
Yeah, it's honestly not until game day. Just seeing how the game's flowing, seeing what we're getting, whether that's, what type of defenses are running, the looks we're getting. It can turn into one guy's game or it can be someone else's. It's really all up to what we're getting on game day.
Last week you scored 3 touchdowns, and you legitimately might be a healthy scratch this weekend. And everybody would just be like, hey, that's just how it goes up there. That's just the way it goes. What do you got, Connor?
Yeah, Rex, we actually added another running back off the IR this week, Damian Harris, excuse me. What do you expect from him on Sunday, and do you think he's going to get any burn or what?
By the way.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, I can't comment on that. That's up to the coaches as far as him getting out there on the field. But Damian, he's a tremendous player, very talented, of course, and, just another piece to add to our offense.
I think you guys are getting James back this week, right? James is back in the building practicing. What an incredibly difficult situation to happen in the middle of the season, especially on a game day for his dad. Saw you get emotional about that. Like, the running back is obviously a family room over there. Him coming back to the team, what has it meant?
Yeah, it's been huge. I mean, he's a tremendous leader for this team, has been for numerous years. And, just going through a tough situation. He's a brother to us, being another running back. You definitely feel for him, definitely hurt for him. But just having his presence back here and, just trying to get him back in the routine with meetings and out on the practice field has been great.
Let's talk about another player who has been awesome up there, and we talked about him a little bit earlier in Cam. He started out better than he's ever played football before, according to Pro Football Focus. Didn't have his best game against the Raiders, but has he changed at all this week? Because the commentary outside of your building is like, yeah, it's good now. Everything's going good. Everything's going good. The people that want to see Cam Newton fail, which we are not, but the people that want to see Cam Newton fail are like, let's see what happens whenever there comes a bump in the road or whatever. And although you guys got the win, it wasn't his best game. How has this week been for Cam Newton? Did Bill Belichick do the same thing he's always done with Tom Brady, which is like, hey, you got to point out this, and this? Is it been the same exact Cam and the same exact Bill in this situation?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Cam, he's all about winning. And, we got a win last week. And, of course, as a player, you always want to improve. You always want to learn from your mistakes. And what I've seen from Cam is he's been locked in every single day and, ready to go for Sunday.
Was there any issue between Pat the Patriot and Cam Newton for the number 1 jersey?
Oh, yeah.
None that I've heard. None that I've heard. So I don't know. You may have to ask someone else on that. May have to ask Cam.
Yeah, well, we have a guy in this building that said Cam Newton could not get to number 1 because Pat the Patriot's a veteran on the team. It's been 17 years. I don't know how he's just going to give up his number like that.
Massive chance.
Yeah, it was this guy right here.
It could have happened.
It was that idiot right there, Rex. How's it been playing with no fans? Because Foxborough is insane. That's a real home field advantage, and it never gets talked about. People talk about Seattle. I talk about Baltimore and Houston. I say those places are awesome, and Foxborough is a place where those massholes get going. I mean, it is a very real thing. What has it been like? Obviously, I've asked every player that is playing right now the big difference because it just seems so different. It seems weird, to be completely candid.
Yeah, it is different, honestly. I mean, you don't have any fans in the stands, so it's not as loud. I mean, you're hearing everything from the people on the sidelines, across the field, on your sideline, out on the field. I mean, you hear everything. And so it's definitely a little different, a little weird playing. I mean, I had a ton of fans I was playing in front of, in high school growing up in Texas. And so, it's definitely a different feeling. But once you get out on the field, of course, you get locked in on your assignments and just play football.
Varsity Blues, an accurate depiction of your life?
I wouldn't say totally accurate, no.
You're telling me that's not a documentary? Son of a bitch. It's unbelievable.
Not in my high school, I guess, no.
What was the biggest stadium you played in front of in high school?
So I played in front of, at Cowboy Stadium, the old Cowboy Stadium. We played in front of 50,000 fans.
Yeah. High school football, dude.
It's different.
What part of Texas?
Plano, just outside Dallas.
Where was the Big Green filmed?
The big, what'd you say?
The Big Green soccer movie. I think you remember.
I think at North Texas. Is that right?
Yeah, I have no idea. All I know is the Big Green, Texas. I know Dallas, Texas. I know Austin's like the hipster tech, Texas. And then I know some other. That's all I know about Texas. But we all know high school football there reigns supreme. What do you got, Diggs?
Rex, were you pretty pumped that it was Nebraska that basically led the charge to bring back Big Ten football?
Yeah. I mean, Nebraska wants to play, and all their people do. I mean, that's what they got in the state of Nebraska. I mean, a lot of stuff rallies around behind that, and so I wasn't surprised at all they wanted to play.
How has Bill addressed the Titans situation? Because I would assume every NFL team is pointing at what's going on with the Titans right now and saying, hey, we don't know whose fault this is, but this is an example or whatever. Has Bill even talked about that, or is the expectation like, hey, you guys all got to handle your business here, because if not, the season can get literally thrown away? The Titans' next week game might be getting postponed because of the amount of positives coming out of there.
Yeah, just to be kind of careful. You never know when you can get it. It can spread rapidly. And so just really, make sure we're wearing a mask, washing our hands, make sure we're not going into places we don't have to be at unless they're necessary. So that's really just kind of, just letting us know what we need to keep doing.
Well, Rex, we can't thank you enough for joining us on this Feel Good Fun in Friday. 1 week removed from having 100 yards and 3 touchdowns, and nobody has a clue what you're going to do this weekend. Can't wait to watch Texas guy, Super Bowl champion, Patriots running back, Rex Burkhead.
Appreciate it, Pat. Keep up the good work, man.
Hey, you too, brother. Maybe stay on the land, though. You know what I mean? When you were flying through the air, I was like, oh, it's an awesome touchdown. And then that bald-ass head started going down. I was like, oh, no, not great.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Stay on the land and maybe in the sea, but stay out of the sky. All right, thank you, Rex. We appreciate you, brother. Let's get to a phone call here before we get to a break. By the way, I did not. He's in the Patriots building right there.
Oh, yeah. Right
if we screamed a question loud enough, Bill could have potentially heard it.
What did he say?
I think Bill Belichick is
He was probably standing right next to him.
Potentially. I didn't even think about that.
Eating a Subway sandwich.
People always ask me, like, dream guest or whatever. And I don't know if I have a dream guest. I have a couple people on the list that I would want. Bill Belichick's one of them. But I would want to be able to do it in person, so he takes me a little bit more serious than over the FaceTime.
Probably get Saban in there, too.
Like, what's that?
Get Saban in there, too.
Yeah, I would like to talk to Saban as well. But Bill Belichick is one of the – just because as somebody in the league during the same exact time as his dominance or whatever, and just the rumors that you hear from players that come from there and everything, it's like – this guy seems like the smartest human to ever enter the football world. And I got some questions. I just have some questions.
Very well might be.
Let's go to Neil in California. What's going on, Neil?
What's up, Pat and the boys? Man, first time caller, long time listener, man. I try to get a hold of you guys. This is like the 212th time I've called you guys, and I finally got in. I'm stoked.
That's what they say. If at first you don't succeed, 211 times a failure, 212 is the lucky one. We appreciate you, Neil.
Well, I appreciate you appreciating me, Pat.
And see, I appreciate the fact that you appreciated the fact that I appreciated you, because there's a lot of appreciation that gets kind of misrepresented, not in this particular conversation or this world, Neil.
We should do like appreciate Sundays or Saturdays, man. I'm with that.
I'm off. But
Appreciation Tuesday.
I'll be napping. I'm in an appreciation coma with my vitamins. What do you want to talk about, brother?
I'm with you on that.
Hey, man, it sounds like it.
My question I have for you.
Okay.
So my fantasy league, I have Matt Stafford and I have Cam Newton. Right now, I have Stafford on the bench. So now, should I switch it and put Newton on the bench because he's going against KC?
What has Bill done against the Chiefs in the past? What do they do?
He is 2-1. He's the only coach to beat Mahomes twice.
Yeah, but what does he do? What is the game plan?
I mean, with Bill, it's whatever the defense gives him. They change it every single.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is if we know what that defense is, what Bill has done in the past, or they open it up or run, I would assume Bill, if he's 2-1, he already has it fixed. This is what we're going to do, or already has it beat. I don't know if you're going to want to run the ball strictly because you want to keep Patrick Mahomes off the field. If I was to guess. Now, I am nowhere near the brain capacity when it comes to football as Bill Belichick, but I would assume that's where Bill Belichick's mindset is. You hear Lombardi talk about it a lot. Michael Lombardi on Hammer Down, he says, hey, you keep Patrick Mahomes off the field. That's the only way you can really beat them. Now, teams have done that, and all it takes is one quarter for him to score 28 points. So let's assume that Cam Newton's not going to have a big day in the sky. Let's assume that there's a chance that that's going to be a lot of running, a lot of ground and pound, trying to drain the clock. So I would go with Matty Stafford if I was you, because Matty Stafford against the Saints, which Aaron Rodgers has sliced and diced, is going to be wide open. So I think Matt Stafford over Cam Newton, but we do have a fantasy expert in the room. Fantasy Tone, what would you say about that?
All I'll say is Kansas City is 4th against the pass, and New Orleans is 20th against the pass. So.
So what are you saying, Fantasy Tone?
I'm not saying anything.
No, you're fantasy expert Tone.
That's not what.
Who you starting? Who you sitting?
Please give us an earthquake.
Probably Joe Mauer somewhere.
It's got to be Stafford.
Don't try to bury your fantasy reputation. Okay? Whenever Matthew Berry, the man who created fantasy football, was on here, you couldn't wait to showcase your big fantasy brain.
I hit the button to talk to Ty and it accidentally went over.
There's no button.
James White's back. Sony Michel and Burke had off their best game. We're going to run the run.
And they just brought up a guy named Damian. They're like, hey, let's assume that there's going to be a lot of running up there. So I'd say go with Matty Stafford. Now, is the Calvin Johnson curse potentially going to show back up because it couldn't travel into the desert because it was on a horse with no name?
Smart.
Possibly. And down in the bayou, maybe that will be a problem. But I think Matty Stafford's going to open it up. I bet on him, by the way. I said that was the thing.
I like the Lions.
Also, I have my super boost.
Ooh, it's easy.
Oh, I have a super boost. Do you have it? Did you get the picture? I sent it over.
We are pulling it up.
Oh, so that means no.
He's literally interesting.
Okay, so let's do a phone call. I got a super boost, and this one's a guarantee, by the way. This one is after last week's Steelers guarantee that got the super boost curse reversed. Oh, that's tough. Super boost curse reversed by the Pittsburgh Steelers beating the hell out of the Texans, which I knew was going to happen. This week, I went with a teaser. And only available at FanDuel Sportsbook. My teaser goes from plus 120 to plus 170. Maximum bet of 50, which means you could win $85. These 3 bets have to hit, and it's a teaser so you can move the line a little bit. In this particular case, I moved the line 7.5 points. They gave an extra half point instead of just a 7-point teaser.
Love that.
Patriots plus 14.5. Feels like that's going to happen. I don't know if Bill Belichick gets beat by 15 points much. No. The Ravens minus 5.5 against the Washington football team. Hello, bounce back game for Lamar Jackson. Yeah. That seems like a lock. In the Packers-Falcons Monday night without Lazard, which could be difficult, but it is Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers is on a heater, and you never walk away from a heater. Packers plus 0.5 point. If all 3 of those hit, you bet 50, you win 85. That's my super boost. You're welcome. Let's go. Take the money. Let's run. Let's bankrupt old FanDuel with this particular super boost. I can get my... That's what I think.
Killed a mouse.
He did kill a mouse. Nice. Mouse is still alive. Appreciate that. Sorry, I almost got caught in a mouse trap. That is my super boost for this weekend, and I'm very excited about it. I've never done a teaser before, by the way. Boys had to teach me a teaser yesterday. I didn't fully understand it because I'm okay just competing against the book, how it is.
That's right.
Yeah.
You versus me. Your group of brains in algorithms versus my one dumb brain. I don't mind it. But once you start getting into the teaser world where you can add 7 to everything and you got to make a couple things happen, I liked it, and that one looked too damn good to be true.
Feel great about it.
It's tasty.
Patriots plus 14.5.
Come on.
Ravens minus 5.5.
Touchdown.
And Packers plus 0.5 point.
They're gonna
if
win.
they tie like the Eagles and the Bengals, we still win. Let's go ahead and have a game.
Which one are you least confident about?
I'm not going to say it.
Patriots 14.5.
No.
Oh.
No.
I think you're thinking Packers, but you don't need to. It's at home.
I didn't
at
think that.
Lambeau.
I didn't think that.
Oh,
We almost
Dewey
had-
Haskins bounce basket.
Let's go to Jack and Judah in New Jersey. Jack and Judah, what's going on?
2 people?
Okay, this is actually crazy.
Cam Newton is better than Josh Allen.
Bro, okay, Pat McAfee, listen up.
Is this
all right,
2 calls?
listen up.
Is this 2 calls?
I got something to say. I got something to say.
Is this Jack or Judah? Just so I know who's the dumb one. Which one is it?
Judah's talking right now.
All right, Judah. Let's go.
Listen up.
Wait, was
Whoa,
Judah
was that
talking?
Jack or Judah?
Jack talked for Judah, I think.
Did
How do
Judah
we know?
Yeah, Jack talked for Judah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Who do you think is going to win the AFC East? Because we're having a big argument. Okay, my friends and I. Okay, so first of all, I'm a Patriots fan, and they're all
This guy
Giants
started
fans,
his
and they hate
weekend
the
already.
Patriots.
He's been drinking for
All right?
hours.
This kid might be
And I'm
15.
trying to argue that the Patriots are going to win the AFC East. So can I just get a yes from you that they're going to win the AFC East, please?
Okay, Judah, sounds like you're just one jack off from being a real situation over there. How old are you two guys?
I'm 14 years old.
That's what I thought. Listen, let me tell you two, okay? I love that you two are passionately yelling at each other about the AFC East, okay? I love that you two are battling Cam Newton and Josh Allen. I like the fact that at 2:26 Eastern Daylight Time, where you're calling from, in the middle of a weekday here on a Friday, you are watching our show and calling into our show. I want to let you know all of those things because you're going to learn more on this show than you ever learned in that stupid classroom.
Yeah.
But what that classroom will provide, I want to let you know, is a little accountability, boys, okay?
Right.
So if you're missing a class right now, this is potentially going to lead you on a path of destruction of yourselves. Get your asses back in those fucking Zoom classes and get off the call.
Damn it!
Those two are bad accountability buddies.
With that being said, I think the Patriots and the Bills tie for the AFC East.
Smart. Josh Allen is
That is definitely two colors. Definitely two colors.
absolutely.
Shout out to Jack and Judah and all the other teenagers skipping classes to listen to the show and watch the show. Just want to let you know we are not for that, but we won't ban you either.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
27 minutes into the hour here, we have to get to a break. We got TVG Mike on the other side to talk about Preak Nasty. Yes. How many calls are we at right now?
We are currently at 26.
Are we really?
That seems
No, we're not. Sorry, we're at 22.
Okay.
22.
Jeez, so we got 6 more to go.
got 6
That's
more
where
to
the
go.
6
That's what I
came
was
from.
thinking, yep.
So we got TVG Mike here on the other side. We'll talk to him, and then we'll hammer out the last 5 there. Boom, 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 boom. And you know what they're going to be? They're going to be the greatest callers to ever call into a radio show. They're going to propel people into a weekend in a fashion that they've never seen before. We are going to have the greatest Friday afternoon radio show to ever be had because the callers that are going to call in are going to be magical. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Friday, October 2nd. Hour 3 wrapping up on the other side. Let's have a fucking day. Woo! There's a grown man with face paint on. So you're Big Nut.
I am, and you're Little Nut.
Well, I've had a few of those in my life. Oh, good. Hey, I'll tell you what, Big Nut. I hope to find you one day on my wedding night. Big Nut!
Little Nut!
You did a great job, too. The lines are straight. No DUI problem there. You're really doing a great job here, sir. Hey, Big Nut, I love everything you're about, bud.
Because we are going to win the game.
He just spit in my mouth while saying that. The most likely team to make the college football playoff is the team that is in Columbus. He said khakis are way too close to that team from up north. If you don't put black pants on right now, you're going to get booed out of Columbus. So I went with the black. Makes me look thin. And whenever I say 2 letters, the place goes crazy. OH! Yeah! Ladies and gentlemen, Eddie George. That offense, though, led by Justin Fields. He has 41 touchdowns accounted for, only 1 turnover. I don't know how he isn't the Heisman favorite right now.
Well, he certainly has a chance to make a stick at that today, certainly next week.
Supposed to be a Penn State native lion. And Mike McQuarrie told me I wasn't Penn State material. Okay, Herbie was your quarterback. He was a senior. You were a freshman. What was he like as a teammate?
Oh, he was great, man. Big shoulder pads. Kurt could run for days back in the day.
We have a guy that can break every single bone in my body. Steve, how you doing, boss man? They're down 6-1. She wants to flex on the gram. He says, lady, we are getting slaughtered by the Pittsburgh Penguins. No.
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show. It is Friday, October 2nd, 2020, which means tomorrow massive horse race day. Saturday, October 3rd, 2020. You know what's popping off over there in Baltimore?
What's that?
It's the Preak Nasty. It's the, hey, this year we can't run on top of Porta-Johns and get beer cans thrown at us or get wasted in the infield, but it is a time for the ponies to run like the ponies can run. And to join us now to tell us which horses to bet on. Unlike what he did with the Kentucky Derby, this time he's going to give us only winners. Ladies and gentlemen, TVG Mike. What's going on, Mike?
Well, I guess I deserved that intro. But I do want to say it doesn't need to be Preakness for you to run across the top of Porta-Johns and get beer cans thrown at you. You can do that anywhere and any way you want. It is always most fun to do that in Baltimore, the third Saturday of May. But yeah, I apologize on Tis the Law. My bad.
Nah, well, yeah, you lied right to our face. Cost us all a lot of money, but you did it in an entertaining fashion and an informative fashion, so we're excited to get you back on here. And I will say to your Porta-John beer tossing thing, that does feel like that's a socially distant activity, much like golfing, baseball, cricket. There are some socially distant sports, and that is definitely one of them. Tomorrow at the incredible Pimlico, horse track. The Preak Nasty will be happening. What horses should we have an eye on, Mike? Who's going to get a win? Who's a long shot that could potentially launch our bank accounts into superstardom? What are you thinking, Mike?
Okay, so let's start with Authentic, because he won the Derby and he's going to get bet and he's going to be your favorite in the Preakness, as they always are. And you didn't really need me on your show because one of the boys asked me, hey, what about Bob Baffert's horse? Sometimes it really is just that easy. Here's the thing about Authentic. He's just getting better. And the way he won the Derby is he went out there and ran faster than everybody else in the early stages, and he had to use a lot of energy to do so. And what I thought was going to happen is when they turned for home, he was going to get caught, because that's a really far way to run like that. And he had the best horse in the world sitting on his hip bone, and he never let him by. And he ran the 7th fastest Derby of all time. So he's really, really good. He's really good. I didn't think he was that good. He's really good. Now I'm going to try to beat him because I'm a glutton for punishment. There's a horse by the name of Art Collector. He's not going to be a huge price. Somewhere in the rounds of, 5-2, or in sports betting, it's going to be like, plus 350, something along those lines. Art Collector was supposed to run in the Derby. He would have been the second choice, and he just got a tiny little injury, nothing to write home about, but enough to miss the race. He was going to be the second choice in the Derby. He looked like the second best 3-year-old going into that race, and unfortunately, he couldn't run. So now he's back. He's running fresh. He's going to go into this race as probably the second choice, but certainly one of the most talented and accomplished horses in here. And because Authentic won the Derby, Authentic is going to go favored, and you're probably going to get a little bit better of a price on Art Collector. Had they lined up next to each other in the Derby, Art Collector would have been half the price as Authentic. So now, just based on that one race, you're getting a flip-flop in the odds. So if you're going to gamble, to me, Art Collector's the bet.
Let's go! Hey, I don't know if what you said was right, but the way you said it made me feel like you got a lot of confidence in that pick. And for me, that's all I need to hear. We'll gamble at TVG. What time does the coverage start and everything like that for the Preak Nasty tomorrow?
Okay, so the Preak Nasty is going to go off at around 5:30 Eastern time, and you can watch that on NBC. TVG, though, we've got coverage leading up all week. We have a live crew out there at Baltimore, some of our best and brightest. There's racing all day today. So just turn on your television at about noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, and we'll have all the races at Preakness until the coverage goes over to NBC Sports Network and then NBC, Big Net NBC for the actual Preakness. And if you're wagering, the news I just got yesterday, actually, was that the FanDuel Racing app is now available for everyone. FanDuel Racing, yes. FanDuel Racing has an app for you to wager on, and it's geared toward, we have all these nerds on the 8th floor in the Megalacorp that do all these computer things to make it work friendly for people used to daily fantasy and sports betting. So the FanDuel Racing app is up. We also have a lot of nerds working in the company except for marketing. They're all drunks. They just get hammered. Their meetings are like, it's in like a barn in Kentucky with like a moonshine jug full of bathtub bourbon. And they just come up with the same idea every time, and it's just give people money. Like, hey, I know what we're going to do. Let's give people $50. They'll open an account. Well, you've got $50 if you open a FanDuel Racing account. Deposit $50, and they'll give you another $50 just like that. So if you have $50, you now have $100 to bet on the Preakness.
By the way, that's how our marketing meetings go as well, just in Indiana as opposed to in Kentucky where all the horses live. What do you got, Diggs?
Do you have, TVG Mike, do you have a good trifecta box for us for the Preakness?
All right, so this is what I'm going to tell you to do. I'm not going to let Bob Baffert beat me with Authentic again in some way, shape, or form. So I would throw him in your box with Art Collector. So the Art Collector is the number 3. Authentic is the number 9. I would use them in anything you're using, hoping that one of them comes out. But here's some big, huge bombs I would throw in there. The number 10, Pneumatic, coming off a big run. I don't know if he's good enough, but his last race was pretty sensational. And then the horse that ran in the Derby as well is a horse named Mr. Big News. He was 3rd in the Derby. So he was right behind Authentic and Tis the Law, and he was closing with a rush. And he wasn't ever going to get to those winners, but he beat everybody else, and he's a deep closer. If it goes really fast in the early stages of the race, he's the horse that could pick up the pieces and maybe get 2nd or 3rd. If he's good enough to win, God bless you for having him, but he's going to be 10 or 1 or higher. And he's the number 2, Mr. Big News. So I would use the 2, 3, 9, and 10 if I was playing a trifecta.
Okay, that's what we're going to do, by the way. I think trifecta is 3. That seems to be 4 horses, but we'll figure that out at a different time. Ladies and gentlemen, our horse expert, the electric factory that is TVG Mike. Thanks, Mike. TVG Mike.
Thank you, gentlemen. Good luck.
Where are you, down in Florida still?
No, I'm at Santa Anita here in Arcadia, California. Yes, tomorrow is the Super Bowl of horse racing in Baltimore. So for live coverage, let's go to Mike in California.
It makes sense if you don't think about it. TVG Mike. Okay, so Authentic, Art Collector, Pneumatic. They used to be a DJ, I think. No, Illmatic. Yeah, you get it. There's only a couple people that actually get that, what I just said, which is great for radio. And number 2, Mr. Big News. And the trifecta is 3 of them.
Yes, you have to, but you can pick 6 horses if you want to finish in the top 3. It just weakens your odds.
Okay, here we go.
Or your payout.
So those are the 4 he'd say that could finish in the top 3. It might weaken your odds, but you sure swing maybe a horse thing if you hit that thing. Zito, before we finish up this Feel Good Phone In Friday and catch our record of 27 phone calls, and we are currently, 5 away at this point?
Yep.
We are 5 away at this point. What is the poll saying? Who's the best quarterback in the NFL compared on the internet?
Oh, yeah, with 30,000 votes, who is the better quarterback? Josh Allen is at 8.5%.
No.
Aaron Rodgers is at 19.1%.
This is wrong.
What do you mean?
It just doesn't.
Josh Allen.
Oh,
Recount.
yeah. And then Patrick Mahomes still leading at 49.6, and then Mr. Unlimited 22.8.
We did see when the Seattle Seahawks fans woke up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our poll actually saw it because, they're up there in the north-left part.
They just woke up.
So the time zone. We saw them wake up, get on their phones, get on Twitter, see the poll, and go, wait a minute. Mr. Unlimited needs to make a run. I wouldn't be surprised if he continues to go. I don't love the fact that Aaron Rodgers is sitting in 3rd right now, but he'll let his play speak on the field. And what's going on with Josh Allen in this poll is just disgusting.
Yeah, it's just wrong.
It's not me, but hey, that was not me. I'm not.
No,
You've been hammering Josh Allen.
I voted Josh Allen in that, and 13,000 other people.
Yeah.
Good man.
Thank you. Let's go to Fernando in Kansas City. What's going on, Fernando?
Hey, boys, how's it going?
Hey, not too shabby. What do you want to talk about? Is this Kansas City, Missouri, Kansas City, Kansas?
Yeah, I told Mitt the good side, not the Kansas side, not the one the president messed up.
Oh, okay, got you. All right, so Kansas City, Missouri is the good side. Kansas City, Kansas, the bad side.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, I'll take that
I had
as
a quick
gospel.
question. The brand, has seen some struggles this year. So there's a pretty prominent soccer player in Europe that has Harry Kane that plays for the Coys. I know Tone Diggs' team there that has always talked about maybe coming here to retire in try kicking. Do you think is someone that's played in big games, World Cup, taken penalty kicks? Do you think that's a real possibility for someone coming here rather than retiring in the MLS, trying to do the kicking thing in the NFL?
Great question, Fernando. The thing about kicking is not every soccer player can just adjust to kicking of football. It's 2 very different swings. Now, the athleticness of a leg has the ability to adapt to either or, but you rarely see, and this is going to sound bad because every kicker basically has a soccer background. I don't think we've ever seen a pro kicker or a pro soccer player just make the transition as easily as everybody thinks it is. Now, Josh Lambo is in the MLS. He's now currently the kicker for the Jaguars. It's just 2 different swings. So am I saying Harry Kane can't do it? No. I think there's a chance that Harry Kane could probably pull it off if his leg is one that can adjust to the different swing. It's not the same kick. Everybody says soccer style, and they just assume it's like, oh, you're kicking a soccer ball. No. You're kicking it with the inside of your foot, and you're swinging it as if you were kicking a soccer ball as opposed to the straight-on style that it was. But it's not the same swing. So it's not just like every soccer player can just go kick a football, even though it seems like it because every kicker that kicks a football is normally a soccer player from the beginning. There's a lot of guys that have tried to do it that just couldn't figure it out or whatever.
Well, and for Harry Kane, how hard would it be to control the football? Like, he wouldn't really know where he was aiming.
Yeah, but we don't know. Harry Kane could potentially come in and be dominant, too. He might be the next Justin Tucker. Nobody knows. But it's two very different, same concept, two very different swings.
If Harry Kane can hit the soccer ball far, will he be able to hit the football like a country mile as well?
I do believe power from Harry Kane could potentially transfer over to an American football, but it's all about whether or not he can get the swing, because the sweet spot is in a much different spot than a soccer ball. Soccer ball, you see, it's round, so there's a sweet spot that goes all the way around the place. With a football, there's only a sweet spot that's like this big, and you have to hit it in a proper pendulum swing on the upstroke, and not everybody can find it. I'd assume Harry Kane could figure it out if he had to, though.
I just hope that Harry Kane can come over and play for at least 5 years, because if he figures it out, he could go on and really do something.
I would like to see Harry Kane potentially play in the MLS as well. Like if we get Harry Kane in the States just doing anything athletic or kicking anything, I'm here for it for sure.
I did see the LA Galaxy too. They've been selling a ton of Harry Kane jerseys, so I do
I
believe.
just looked it up. Harry Kane hits a nice little draw.
Yeah, so maybe that helps out. Maybe that means he'll hit it well. I have no idea. Two different balls for Harry Kane, and maybe he'll be able to figure it out. But you'll see soccer players, foreign soccer players, they'll post a video of them kicking a field goal or whatever, and they take the steps as if it's a free kick, which is like 7-8 steps. Whenever it comes to kicking a foosball, you see, it's only 2 steps you get in. It has to be very quick, and it's a whole different swing. So there's a lot into it. I'm not saying Harry Kane can't do it, but I'm saying Harry Kane might not be able to do it. But if he can do it, I'd like to buy an Harry Kane NFL jersey.
And if Harry Kane came and played, then Wales would have some representation in the NFL, which would be nice for that country.
Which would be good for England, and I think he would be
from Wales.
Wherever he played at, he would come over and say, "Hello, Governor, my name's Harry Kane," and it would be a real beautiful thing.
Come on, Harry Kane.
Let's go to Joseph in Arkansas. Joseph, what's going on?
Oh, not too much.
Oh, no. Woo Pig Suey, pal, what do you want to talk about?
Oh, I want to talk. Well, there's 2 things I want to talk about. I want to talk about, one, how the Arkansas Razorbacks are afraid to play the A-State Red Wolves.
Oh,
afraid to get that. Afraid to get knocked out. Hell yeah, boy.
That's a good enough call for me. Let's go to Tyler in Winnipeg. What's going on, Tyler?
Not much. How you guys doing on this happy, feel good, phone it in Friday?
Hey, not too shabby. It's great to have Canada represent once again on the phone. What do you want to talk about, brother?
I just want to know why that beautiful painting behind you is covered up.
Oh, good call. That's actually a great question, Tyler. I forgot to move it. That's just 100% laziness. The painting behind me was asked to be covered, obviously, whenever I go on to the ESPN or whatever, because it is a guy taking a shit while holding a cigar, and there's a bunch of money around and his middle finger's flying. Yeah. So I understood that. Yeah, and it's sitting on a barrel of Cedar Ridge whiskey, I do believe, distillery over there in Iowa. So it's a little bit heavy. I don't want to say it's a little bit heavy, but also pure laziness. And it'll be back, though. The portrait will ride once again. Let's go to Martin in Houston. We've got a couple calls left here before we get in. By the way, we're going to make it in plenty of time.
This is 27 right here.
This is a Record Tire phone call on this Feel Good Phone In Friday from our friend Martin down in the H-Town. What's going on, Martin?
What's up, Pat? I just want to ask you about, like, how much longer do you feel Adam Gase is going to be in New York? I mean, he's not the coach for him. I mean, his star running back doesn't like him. Like, how long is he going to be there?
Martin, you would think he would have been gone. I believe Mark Schlereth said he might get fired on the tarmac or whatever, and they didn't fly anywhere. So that would have been very interesting, or maybe today. But somebody from within the Jets organization got tweeted today that Gase's job is safe for at least another week or so. Who knows? If they fire him, who do you bring up, too? There's a lot of things about midseason firings. Now, the Washington football team did it last year. The Carolina Panthers did it last year. I mean, teams do that. They are not scared to pull the trigger on somebody midseason. It might cause a little bit of an interruption for sure, and there's no chance of you making the playoffs at that sake. But at least you're telling your players and your fan base, we care. We notice what's going on. We are turning the page and going in a different fashion. But I don't know if the Jets are going to do that, because it sounds like they have been completely hoodwinked by old Adam Gase. He's going to turn it around.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I guess the only thing that you could do is give Greg kill the head and the body will die Williams a chance to, really turn things around.
I will say after last night's plethora of personal foul penalties by the New York Jets defensive squad, the audio tapes of Greg Williams in a defensive meeting the night before a game were released once again that were a part of the entire Bountygate investigation thing where allegedly Greg Williams was telling people to give people CTE basically and rip legs off and he was willing to pay for people's fines. And Steve Smith last night after the game said, playing for the Carolina Panthers, I played against this Greg Williams guy. And Steve Smith basically said that if Greg Williams was on fire, he would not pee on him to put him out.
Try not to curse right now.
Try not to curse. And then him and Joe Thomas kind of got into it a little bit because Joe Thomas was like, well, the offensive line also has to stand up for their quarterback whenever the guy's just getting bodied, which, by the way, could also be true. But Steve Smith was on a very passionate plea about how bad Greg Williams is as a human. He was at Cleveland. Defense played well. I think it's only whenever they get penalties that the world gets reminded of Greg Williams' defenses. But boy, those tackles last night were not. It felt like there was potentially a little bit of guidance on those particular plays because it's a first-time starter. Let's go ahead and make his life absolutely miserable hell there.
And that audio is damning anytime you hear it.
Yeah.
Hit that fucker right here, right underneath the jaw.
And then him saying, I got the first one. First one's on me. And then it says rubs hands together to indicate he'll pay for the fine. And then the other one, just keep hitting him in the head, in the head, in the head, in the head, in the head. And it was just like, okay, that motherfucker, that little fucker got a concussion last week. We'll see if he's back if we hit him in the head. Like those clips are damning. I mean, it is bad. And I don't know. I've had a lot of coaches who have tried to change and they've said they only know one way. I would assume that Greg Williams has had to curtail his coaching a little bit, but whenever you see trends about something, it's hard not to be like, it feels like that guy is potentially trying to hurt people. Because if you hurt somebody, guess what? It helps your team, I guess, which means what? You get to keep your job, which means what? You get to move on. And that's just not the way the league is anymore. You saw old buddy that did the Gator death roll on old buddies. Everybody's come out against him, say, hey, that's not right. I'd assume the players that have had to be on the receiving end of a Greg Williams defense, they're all going to come out and say, yeah, this type of shit can't happen anymore. Let's go to Jason in Indianapolis. Happy birthday, Jay.
Happy birthday, Jay.
Happy birthday, Jay.
Is this 28?
This is 28.
It's a record breaker.
Holy shit.
Hey, on the record. Hey, Pat.
Hey, you're on the record and the record. Jason.
Good job, Jay. Happy birthday, brother.
So the Bengals are 3-0 against the spread.
Who cares? All right, let's go to Michael in Indiana. What's going on, Michael?
What a record.
Another record.
Yeah.
Hey, Pat and the guys, we are on a feel-good Friday. Trying to bring the energy for you guys. Keep it going into the weekend.
Yeah.
Silver Creek Dragons high school football here in Sellersburg are 6-0. They beat their last opponent 70-0.
Let's go! Hey, if anyone wants to score 70 points, stop us. I'm sick of getting yelled at for being great. 70-0. Yell at the bad team, not the good team. That's what we've been saying this whole time.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Now, that got me thinking because I heard Trent Dilford talking a little high school football earlier, and I was wondering, have you ever thought about doing a kids' kicking camp?
No, never. Too much. And a lot of kids aren't good, and I would tell them that, and I'll probably shoot down some dreams that shouldn't do that. And I don't think my form is ever good enough to be teaching other people. But I've thought that maybe there should be, like an actual camp that, it's a fine thing because this is a real hustle that people have. There's a lot of kicking camps that travel around and they guarantee scholarships to kids. And they say, hey, you come to our camp, you get a higher percentage, you get a scholarship, which is probably true because if you're going to a camp, it means you're probably okay at football. So I guess that is an accurate stat. But there's a lot of people teaching things out there that have never made it big time, never done anything. And it's like, I don't know if the person has never done it. They say those who can't do coach, which I understand. But there's some people out there coaching some kids in kicking that I think to myself, like, I mean, I would hate having to teach all these kids, but I don't like the fact that that person is potentially shaping the future of the brand right there. Yeah. So I would like to let you know that me and a couple other, I don't want to say OGs, but because I'm not really that old at this point, but established guys have thought about a chance of potentially taking one swing through and trying to do our best. But those guys that I talk about that aren't as accomplished kickers, they put in a lot of work in helping our kids. So like it's a gift and a curse. Like I appreciate them going out and helping kickers. There's a lot of kickers that have been benefited from that. But I do feel like there are some places where you think and you're like, how is that person the person that's teaching people how to do something? It's like, well, I guess they've studied studied it longer than anybody
Also,
else.
with kids these days, you would probably just critique them in a professional manner, and then they would cry to their parents, and then you'd get sued. So you just can't have that.
I'm not 100% sure that I'm the right coach, though. I did tell one particular kid at a camp I was working at that he probably should never kick a ball again. You know, I was like, hey, this isn't for you. You're wasting your parents' money. You're a senior in high school already. The ball can't even get above a human. I mean, there's this. You're wasting your time. I was the bad guy.
He's a doctor now.
Change your kid's life. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's probably a lawyer. or
Wasting your
something.
time.
And that was
kid.
the first time someone was honest with him.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I'm the right guy to be that guy, though. I don't know if I want to be that human. That kid probably hates me to this day that I did that. But his parents got to save some money, or they just continue dumping money into a lost cause, which I do believe some parents do anyways.
Well, it's kind of like he hated you that day, but he's going to look back like 15 years from now and be like, hey.
Hate me now.
Right.
Love me later.
Slap dick.
You fucking slap dick. That's the other thing is you don't know. That kid might have just been some fucking slap dick, you know, some fucking entitled little fucking prick, you know. So, I mean, you probably did him a favor.
Shout out, Coach. Shout out, Coach.
Shout out, Coach JV. Love you, Coach.
Oh, my God.
Stick that in.
JB? I'm crying. That guy's one of my favorite humans ever.
He had a hell of a video last night about a wide receiver blocking.
We have no more calls on the line. They're all just blinking. We were going to get to 30, but this is Usain Bolt running that 200 and for the last 10 yards putting his arms out to slow him down so that we can break the record yet again. Maybe next Friday. We have 2 minutes until we get a chance to celebrate a nice long weekend. Zito, why don't you update the poll for us, pal?
You got it. So who's the better quarterback? Josh Allen, 8.5%. Aaron Rodgers, 19.3%. Patrick Mahomes, 49.4%. And Russell Wilson, 22.8%.
Okay, so that does it. It wasn't just me. Go ahead and attack here. The 13,000 there.
32,000.
Trent, how many thousand?
32,000 altogether.
32,000 votes?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Quarterbacks move the needle, baby.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
Hey!
Is that a new record?
That's a Zeke poll.
that is a Zeke poll record,
Big
right?
old poll.
That's a big old poll.
We shoved that down.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, yeah.
We got 29 calls, 32,000 people on the votes. Not a bad Friday, October 2nd. We appreciate everybody for listening and watching. Chris Mad Dog Russo is going to come on after this. He's going to have an actual sports talk show that is worth listening to. I think he has a big guest at 4 o'clock, so if you have a Sirius XM, get to Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio for sure. Diggs Hammered Down coming on after this at youtube.com/DPAT McAfee Show. Any final thoughts for the listeners on Sirius before the weekend of gambling for you?
I think you tune in and you're going to get all the greatest information you can.
Connor, anything going into the weekend?
Lakers are going to sweep the Heat.
I believe so. If it's only, 3 more games so we get to leave the bubble, and he just bought a $36 million house, LeBron.
Bingo.
I believe LeBron James playoff mode is going to be activated to get the fuck out of there.
Yep.
Big Face Coffee, though, is coming to a town near you, I'd assume. Ty Schmidt, anything to say to the people that have listened all week?
Packers are banged up, but that's why I wore the Cena hat. Never give up, baby. They're going to be okay.
Trust, loyalty.
And respect.
That's what John Cena's all about.
Exactly right.
Shout out to BTS, too, by the way.
Shout out to BTS.
This is a big BTS show.
Huge.
Love you, BTS.
Big BTS show, just like John Cena. All the boys in the back, all the guests this week, everybody that has listened and watched, we cannot thank you enough. This is the dumbest show on earth. The fact that you choose to spend time with us, we are eternally grateful. We will see you on Monday. Have the greatest weekend of all time.
What are you going with?
Taking the Broncos and the points.
Oh. How many points did you get? 1.5?
Yep. Broncos 2-1 against the spread this year. Surprisingly, 10-3 against the spread their last 13 Thursday games, and 5-2 against the spread their last 7 against the Jets. Give me the Broncos. Give me the points.
Gumpy loves his trends. Pat?
I don't know, and I don't want to pull the old.
You don't have to.
I don't want to make a pick because I'm at the top of the mountain. But let me tell you why I'm at the top of the mountain. Because I make fucking picks. I'm going with the Broncos.